Hello and welcome to the finale of Neophyte Chronicles Greater Shores. Despite personal illness, scheduling errors, and graduation, we've managed to come together to complete this story for all of you watching. With that, you might see something different at the table. We actually have a player... Someone.
It's not the first time I've been called a thing, so...
Jesus fucking Christ, guys.
We're off to a great start.
Also, even though I reset the thing, you are back to being, spectral again?
Yeah, no, we might flip it on
Ghostly
and off here.
DM,
We can throw it on the full. We've got a lot of flexibility happening here. We also have a GM camera that's, way too shallow. So, hello. That's too tall. We have a guest player flexing in for Toby Merriman. We have Graham, who's going to be playing Calagon for our finale here. And look, my lighting has changed. I'm no longer in the spectral realm. My ether has grown thin, and I am mortal once again. You may attempt to kill me. It might stick this time.
And I will.
That's what we're ending the series.
We're gonna kill
Right,
Dom.
look, this encounter is gonna hurt, and I understand the impulse.
If you kill my little kitty cat,
Look, I won't do anything.
We're fighting for the game
fully
is over.
channeling and acting on the behalf of the monstrosities I've unleashed upon you all.
I am a monstrosity.
It transcends me.
Sure.
I don't have a say in the matter. So, when we left off, the group made it to their destination after departing the Silcardian College with their mission to gather evidence about the Silcardian research team that was looking into the sort of magical anomalies here at this kind of northeastern mountain range of the peninsula, referred to as Emissary's Eye, or the particular peak of this range you all were investigating. Upon arriving with an additional party member in tow, Macaria, whose sort of elf scouting party was taken out as well, who you had met previously on the Friet farm. She joined you all as well, and after seeing the sort of rapidly decomposed bodies of her allies and going through sort of a funerary process, again disrupted by the magical anomalies here, you all were ambushed by these sort of perhaps not very sentient roving masses of flesh and discarded body parts, these kind of undead mounds, and pushed down into the approach of a cave into the climb, or into the Emissary's Eye, a site affectionately referred to as the Climb, kind of laden with this strange sort of slime, ooze, fungus that would react to provocation and seems particularly adverse to fire. However, you all have been chased up this kind of switchback path into a entrance into the Emissary's Eye by these creatures that are rapidly approaching. Specifically, you all have created a formation with Calagon in front and Macaria in back, kind of spreading these flame cantrips to keep this fungus from attacking you all. And I believe the winged boots are Junipers, who's kind of avoiding the whole situation. Remind me, were you carrying someone? Did you decide to bring a party member with you?
I wanted to. My plan was to pick up Cal and have jump and have him spray fire while we're up in the air.
So that's and we also have Oberon, who deftly is kind of goading his way up the very kind of steep face, avoiding the actual path, and so only coming into contact with this substance so briefly that it's not quite having the time to react and subsume you, right?
I can still hear, so I wouldn't say deathly, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just going to continue to be ableist for the rest of this session, I guess. We're just fucking
Ableist
firing
mark
off.
entered.
Just fuck you, Matt.
As a
Tom.
hard of hearing person, I give you the pass.
Deft. It's different. It's a different word.
Like Deftones. Yep.
Yes. Cool. So with that, we're gonna throw you all into initiative order. So everyone, go ahead, roll me a d20 plus your proficiency and give me that total.
Oh, wow.
Where do I find my proficiency?
So it's gonna be your proficiency bonus. That should be at the top of the
Oh, yeah.
page.
I got a 21.
21.
Okay,
Yep.
I rolled a 4.
I also roll a 4.
Do we have to break the tie?
We'll add your proficiency
Well,
bonus.
I did, I'm
Yeah,
four.
that's what I did.
Four.
I
Okay,
rolled a
okay.
2.
Who has the highest dex modifier?
Dex modifier. I
Plus
have
1.
Plus 1.
my dexterity is also +1.
Then just roll off. You two will share initiative order, but roll a d20. Whoever gets higher will go first.
I got a 7.
A 13.
There you go.
So I go first.
So
Okay, so I rolled
And 15.
Oberon 15. You got 21, Oberon.
Yep.
I got a 14.
14.
So I'm second to last.
Oh, first time I've been first.
Last.
Well, the what is your class again?
I'm a
Juniper, what'd you get
The
again?
bard.
15.
15.
Oh, never. That's never a good thing. We move.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be a moment. Jesus Christ,
God.
guys.
So lovely weather we're having.
In the cave.
Yes.
It's me, Toby. Let's talk about IT things.
Yeah.
Like
I've-
computers.
I've seen a computer once.
Yeah.
You're seeing a computer right now.
Where?
Oh my god.
Computers?
Second computer. Computer confirmed.
We have so many NPCs. Just.
Not loving that.
What do you mean we have so
I
many?
think you should make your
How
job a
many do
little
we have?
easier and lessen that number.
Well, you've got
But really look out for
two. No,
yourself.
I didn't say antagonists. You have NPCs. You got Toots with you. You got Macaria.
Oh, toots.
Oh, toots.
Don't forget
Yeah.
Toots. They're very important.
Toots dies, I'm gonna kill someone.
Yeah.
Both
I-
in the campaign and out.
I finally got let
I'm
into
your
the
ride
channel,
home, so not me.
and I saw the meme
You're
you
safe for now.
posted about Toots.
And don't worry about these that I'm throwing in the tray.
I know what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be...
And we'll call this. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Oh, cool. Okay. So, as you all go, first up is Oberon.
Yep.
For sure. So go ahead and give me your turn here. What's Oberon doing? What's Oberon doing? You're moving quick. You don't have a lot of time to stop.
How close am I to like the top of whatever wall I'm climbing?
You think that just to for the sake of efficiency and clarity here, with your previous athletics check that we're kind of letting ride, unless something kind of disrupts your process here, it would take another 4 or 5 of these really concerted leaps.
Okay.
Right, and now that we're in initiative, we're going to call it a dash action.
Okay.
So it's your full movement plus a dash to kind of do this.
Okay.
And again, that's 4 or 5. Like that's 4 or 5 rounds of combat, where you could get there and you could totally be safe and kind of abandon everyone, but you really would be locking in for a while as you see this situation start to escalate.
Gotcha. Okay. I think where weird like Lovecraftian just aberrations are just like
Yell at it again.
Look at that.
Our stream should be fine.
Yeah,
We've
I think we're
lost
still good.
our monitor.
Oh, man down.
Yeah, I'm gonna request that one of us mutes and has the stream pulled up to make sure everything
Oh,
just
it's
looks
pulled
okay.
up. Yeah, we
Cool.
look fine.
As long as everything looks fine,
Yep.
our display's down, and we'll have to carry on without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oberon.
Yes.
Yeah, what you thinking?
so. Where are these fucking?
Yeah, so
things?
they're back like way like up the
Sure.
ridge. They're gonna be here soon. They're gonna
Okay.
be cresting that ridge and then accelerating, rolling down to you guys any minute now.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right. So
any second rather.
I think
Yeah.
what I'd like to do is cast Bardic Inspiration for some people.
Yeah, you want to give out some bardics?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
How many can I give out? I think it's like 5.
Since
right?
we're in initiative, you can bardic as a bonus action.
Okay.
So you can toss one out right now.
Okay, I would like to. Who has the lowest initiative right now? I don't remember.
Me.
Lowest
yeah,
initiative
it's-
is going to be
yeah.
Yev.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to give out Yev a Bardic.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't want you to die yet.
There's still time.
And not on anyone else's terms, on my terms.
And for my action, I think I don't know if I have my shield up, but I'm gonna ready my shield, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call that an object interaction. Like, that's totally fine. And then you can still keep your action. So if you want to take the dash action,
Oh, yeah,
if you
yeah.
want to, like, do... Because if you stop, right, you're
Right.
ahead of the party, you're going to start being dragged down and overtaken by this shit.
Okay, yeah, no, I'd like to keep dashing.
Okay. So you dash kind of up the next leg of it here. Let's because Oberon's kind of locking in here. Let's set up a little mini game for you.
Love
Go
it.
ahead and roll me. Man, let's call it a D20, and let's use death saving throw
Okay.
mechanics here. So throw me a D20 and give me that number straight.
Gotcha.
And I have a set number of kind of successes that you need to get up here.
All right. Entering my mini arrow. Holy shit, that's bad.
Is it below a 10?
Yes, considerably below a 10.
Okay.
It's a 3 plus 1, so 4.
So 3 plus 1. Okay. So you did not get a success. I'd say as you kind of go out and throw out your bardic, like, what do you do to give Yev your bardic? Are you just like, hey, nice job? Like, what do you...
I just like, hey.
Yeah, and somehow in the chaos of the... Yeah, if you look up and you just see and something
and I
in your
immediately
heart
respond,
says-
hey!
Yeah, like, hey!
Hey!
You know? I think as you're doing that, you get like a little too bold, you know? Maybe you're like worried about like how Toots is doing. Toots kind of like iced you a little bit. And you're not watching where you're going with this kind of like ooze, and you slip just like a little bit going from rock to rock, and so you don't quite make it up as high as you would like.
Lame.
So that's just a little you definitely make progress, but your foot's a little unsteady, like your gut like lurches a little bit, but you get up a little bit and you kind of stabilize there. Cool. So from Oberon, we're gonna go to Toots actually. Toots kind of like in the middle of the party, making their way up the path here. Begins to rage as a barbarian. And Toots just so happens to have the a storm aura of desert. They're a storm barbarian, and with the storm of deserts, it's actually sort of like a extra kind of like heat aura around you guys pops off. So you're insulated a little bit better from the ooze, from the slime, but the temperature climbs, and actually everyone in the party, you're going to take 2 points of fire damage. Everyone climbing up, just from the barbarian activating their rage, for the benefit of the party. It does inflict 2 points of
Free
damage.
action.
to
Kyle, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, 100 as a reaction. Yeah. Toots kind of like pays you kind of a little bit of heat and is like, no, trust me. And
I do not trust you.
This one is fur. She's on fire now.
Toots kind of like shoves out to the front of the party, like actually past Calagon, and begins to make a beeline with a dash action, just sort of like temporarily clearing an area in front of you. Now this slime already where between where Calagon is like sustaining his cantrip and kind of like the nearest to it, you already see this slime kind of like coming back and coalescing together. So it's going to help a little bit. It's going to keep a buffer out. But Toots as Goliath, as a barbarian, right? There's nothing to punch. So just like kind of like throwing himself like out in front the best he can. to give you guys a little bit of extra space here. So that is Toots, and then we go to Juniper, who's
Yes.
has boots flying. Like, you are like totally ignoring. You're like hovering over everybody, so you can move right in any direction. You can take whatever ability you want. You can, as you said previously, mention that you want to possibly pick up one of your allies. Is that kind of where her head is?
Is that me that you're picking me up?
This might be.
Okay.
Yes, but before I do that, I just
Yeah.
want to clarify. Since I'm flying, do I
Yes.
get hurt by Toots?
No, you do not take fire damage. You're outside the kind of like 5-foot aura. I would say, like, for sure, you do not take the 2 points of fire
Did
damage.
I take two?
You did, yeah, you did, Makaria did, Yev, Kels,
Everybody
and
else.
of course this slime.
Also, is there like a weight capacity with these boots?
Yeah, so weight capacity with the boots, we're going to use kind of the standard carry capacity. So if, what's your strength modifier?
It's a 0.
It's a 0, so if you tried to pick up Calagon, right, it's equal to your regular carrying capacity.
Okay.
You're going to be kind of overloaded. At the very least, Calagon would have to drop all of your equipment that he's still carrying, and then you would be moving kind of encumbered, so we would take half your movement, and you would have to dash. Like, it would be like difficult terrain. You would have to dash to take 30 feet. However, unlike everyone else that needs to travel with this kind of like switchback motion, you'd be moving kind of actually more efficiently than Oberon. So your 30 feet would just kind of glide right up above it, and it would be it's still an efficient way to travel. However, if you picked up, I would say, anyone other than Calagon or Toots, you could take your full movement.
I'll probably pick up the elf.
Makaria, yeah.
Therefore, Cal doesn't have to drop
Yes.
equipment.
Absolutely.
So I pick up Makaria.
So you
Well,
pick up Makaria.
First, I yell out, "Hey!
Yeah.
I'm going to pick you up so you can spray fire."
Yeah, you see again this kind of like orange, almost like I don't know, like creamsicle colored eladrin, right? The highlights of her face are kind of like this pale orange, and she has kind of like these deep orange accents as well. She is still kind of in this kind of tumultuous state, and is really lashing out with like ferocity towards this ooze as you guys are trapped. And so go ahead and we're just gonna roll a persuasion roll to kind of get it out to her, because she's just kind of like aggressively like throwing out fire across this thing without any kind of regard. She's like kind of covering your backs from this thing collapsing on all of you, but at the same time she's also just kind of like unleashing on it.
Well, that was
Yeah.
a 9.
A 9. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to do that against Makaria making a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage to kind of reflect the stress that she's under in this situation. So if she rolls with disadvantage above a 9, it's actually going to work here. So that's a 7 on die, and her wisdom save is actually a +4. So, kind of predisposed to kind of be this kind of like druidic, calm creature, despite the circumstances, despite all of her rage. I had to do it. She looks up, she's like, she focuses up for a minute, she's like, okay, all right, yeah, grab me, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, grab her.
I grab her.
Yeah, so just like you kind of move it, like it's like still awkward moving, it's kind of guided more, like you're not a flying creature, right? It's kind of guided by intent, right? It's a magical item, and you're kind of an innately magical creature, so it's like tapping into a second version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of go like arms like under the armpits and just kind of do like a full lift here. So she's got like some mobility and she's able to continue to kind of like project this cantrip, but with a little more discipline, right? Because she's not like in it, bringing up the rear. She's got this kind of like bird's eye view of like throwing out this flame, this produced flame cantrip to kind of keep you all covered, and like maybe she gets a little on the side as it kind of goes in on you. So we can call that your action. And now, although Toots moved ahead, so you're still outside that range, you are kind of like just above the party, right? So you went from like outside to like just in, and grab someone. So that's going to be kind of your movement and your action there to grapple, essentially.
No problem.
So from Juniper, we move to Kels. Kels, you see, Oberon hopping up, finger guns at Kiev. Juniper just swept down, picked up Makaria. You're in the middle of this. There's fire everywhere. There's this ooze. These like horrific monstrosities are like moving down on you. Where's Kel's head at? Just kind of being caught in the middle of all this.
Well, I have
Big sigh.
I've been almost burned at the stake
3 times.
Yeah.
So unpleasant. I'm still having a very bad day because it is all the same day still. I think. No, it's a different
you guys,
day.
it's been 3 days.
It's been 3 days.
Rough
For some
3 days.
reason, I'm still unhappy, which has never happened to me before.
Yeah.
Being unhappy for more than a minute.
Yeah. It's a lot of stress for little
You've
Kit
been
Kat.
through it,
You know?
man.
My god is gone, evidently.
Well, you detected the thread for a moment when you were tripping on a kind of a
Oh,
fungus.
maybe he's still
But now it was kind of like iffy. You can try reaching back out. You can pray like a religion check here
Okay.
to like, kind of like a
Mid-fire,
divination,
like-
like a pseudo divination.
Sure.
Yeah, so if you want to throw a religion check.
In the midst of the chaos happening around me, I just throw up a quick one
Yeah,
of each.
I'll say,
Don't look like
because
that.
you've had a past success and kind of a tumultuous, like, black spot of, like, not being able to connect, like a dead zone, I'm going to say the DC is going to be 17 to get anything. That's kind of your minimum threshold.
Okay, wonderful.
And what's your religion bonus again?
It's -1.
Cool. So this is just going to be a free action here.
Whoop. Well, I have 4, so that's
One more
okay.
yeah, no, I won't count that.
Nat 20.
No, wait.
It is!
Okay,
Yes, girl. Go.
cool. So how do I want to play this? Amongst the like you said, you've been burned at the stake. You've been thrown into
I have almost
been
been
burned at the stake. You've been chased. You've been aggressed on. It's been a ride for Kel's life, but you've always made it through.
9 lives, bitches.
9 lives. You've always kept kind of an upbeat attitude. You've always trusted in your faith and to the Vagabond God, and it's brought you here. It's brought you to this moment with these people, and things might look dire as they have in the past, but that is just kind of a fractal image of the same kind of suffering and danger that's ever present, right? That you have kind of skated your way through with community, with support, that you've truly believed in, and you've kept your calm, you've kept your patience, and in this moment you've kind of thrown one up to your deity, and you see, right, you're not tripping, but you see kind of those aura, those kind of like spectral threads kind of shoot out, and it catches your eye just so, and all of this in the span of a moment, right, reflected in the flames, and this kind of gossamer thread extending from you like beyond the material plane, right? Yeah, no, it's delightful, it's lovely. And so you see this thread, and what's Kel's as a little kitty cat? What's your kind of initial reaction to seeing this string?
I love a good string.
Yeah, so what do you do when you see it? Yeah, and just reaching out, and you're just batting, and
Well, I'm
you,
running at the same time, but I am taking.
yeah, you're
the
moving kind of
time.
slowly with the group, and you bring your 2 hands together, right, and you get it, you got it, and your heart soars, and in that moment you feel this kind of like wave of magical energy just like completely wash over you, and time slows as you grasp onto this thread, and you don't so much hear a voice as you do this kind of spiritual pressure, right? This kind of like aura coming down on you, and you feel a direct line to your deity that you haven't felt since, I mean, how long? Since your initial kind of moment of belief.
Well, she hasn't been keeping track of her age. However,
Yeah.
she was around like 9 or 10 the last time.
Yeah. So rough approximation would put that at about a decade, give or take.
More like 2 decades.
About 2? Okay, cool. So about 2 Yeah, and so you've come to this strange place with these strange people. You've kept your faith, you've kept your words, even though people haven't believed in you back home, and in fact persecuted you. And now you have a moment. You have a moment in which you're directly communing, and you get the sense that this being from beyond the material plane, this vagabond god, whose nature you do not fully understand, but whose will you've been trying to imbibe, and who's been greeting you with spell slots day in, day out, right? You have a moment where you can kind of pass a question or ask a moment of guidance. No voice, no word speaks out to you, but you get this sense of openness, of this kind of communal camaraderie of what can I do for you after you've been doing so much for so many. And so you're met with that offer, with that feeling for a moment. What request, what of knowledge, of clarity, of sort of divination would you like to put forth to the vagabond god who you are communing with in this moment?
So I'm feeling overwhelmed and slightly confused about what's happening. A little bit shocked that this has happened.
Yeah. You get some impressions of sympathy. No words are exchanged, no sounds, but you magically, right, you feel kind of this emotion empathetically.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So my question is, how do I get my friends out of this situation alive?
How do I get my friends out of this situation alive? No, that's good.
They're just gonna say no.
No. When you ask the question, here's the important clarifying point, right? So that's a perfect question. When you ask the question, and this is like total honesty for Kels, in Kels's mind, right? And
oh, it's so small.
It's so small. Is she feeling like, okay, how do I get my friends out of this situation? Pragmatically? Do you mean literally? Do you mean what's kind of the Rube Goldberg, I do this and then this happens and then we're safe, kind of like fate thing? Or what's kind of the subtext of that request?
So
what would Kels mean by that?
I'm thinking in a very literal way, how do we flee? Not really a think ahead type person. What do we do right now to not
keep your
die
friends safe
right now? Yes.
Yeah, and by that you mean not dying right. Yeah, absolutely. So I think with that request, you this like pregnant pause for a moment, you get nothing, but you're clasping on this thread, you feel it slipping from between your claws. You're just kind of holding it as it pulls back. You kind of pull on it a little bit, maybe, you know.
That pill and make you deal with
Yeah,
that.
The full English experience.
Before the thread snaps from betwixt your hands, you get you get a flash. You get this impression between Oberon, between Juniper, between Toots Marshmallow, and you see kind of the path forward. And here's what I want to do with that. I know that's vague, because you're in a very straightforward, ultimately situation. You can go back, you can go forward, right? You know the direction is forward. That is what the vagabond got to survive this moment. Go forward, and you get two things with that, right? You get two other kind of senses or greater understandings about this moment. One is kind of the terrain that you're on, and one is about your kind of imminent, like incipient danger, okay? So the terrain, I'm going to say Kels, from here on out for this encounter, any movement, any athletics, anything is going to be with advantage. And if you at any point take the help action, right, you can guarantee one of your allies moves with flawless deftness, right? You know the path forward. You've seen the footfalls, right? And you can go here. You can tell Oberon, right, land there. You will be safe. You have that confidence. So if you take the help action for anything involving movement, it's a guaranteed success, and you have advantage on any sort of movement checks. That's like dex, athletics, anything. So you get that. The second thing I'll give you is with the sort of immediate danger. You know you have to go forward. You know you're safe. You know your footfalls. With sort of the fungus, with this sort of slime, you're told very specifically. How do I want to phrase this? You're told, be wary of illusions, keep the path ahead, disregard your immediate assumptions. You're given those very specific instructions.
Oh man, I'm so bad at thinking.
Yeah. So with that, and we're calling that a fucking free action, dude. So you still have your whole turn as that thread kind of slips from betwixt your fingers and disappears beyond the material plane.
Okay, first of all, I would like to announce to the party at large, I am so fucking good at religion, you guys.
Just unprompted.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since always. Okay. Secondly, I would like to cast Sanctuary
Okay.
on myself. And then I would like to stay the course and keep going forward.
Totally. And Sanctuary is a bonus action. Creature targets you must make a wisdom saving throw. Perfect. So that is a bonus action, and with what I just conferred to you as your normal action, if you want to take a dash, if you want to, or you can for sure like hold for a help action.
I'm just
Whenever
going
you see something.
to keep moving forward with the rest of the group.
Okay. Absolutely. So you move forward, you kind of like come up towards like Oberon, there's that path cleared by Toots. So here's what I'll say this, actually, because it's coming up now. We can wait on actions, and then whoever and Calagon, people who would move first would wait to walk until Calagon walks, right? Mm-hmm. So that's enough. We can wait for that. You can also kind of go out ahead of him. Now that there's Toots, now that there is Macaria in the air, do you want to step out of the party formation and go ahead, or do you want to wait and move with Calagon?
No, because I am very singeable.
Okay.
So I'd like to be behind Calagon and his spray of fire.
Totally. Perfect.
Yeah,
So
that
with a
makes
14 on Kels, you're getting ready, you're waiting to move. We are actually next going to go towards the slime. The slime gets a turn.
Oh, the slime gets
The slime gets a turn.
Oh boy.
And it's gonna do some stuff. First thing,
do stuff.
I would say Oberon, as you are kind of like pockmarking landing into this, what you've seen so far is that it's kind of reactant to disturbance.
Yes.
But as there's fire, you land right for a moment, and you see a kind of this like sludge arm reach up, this sort of like attack come across, and kind of like in a flash snap out at you. So what is your AC?
Well, I have my shield up right now, so
You do have your shield up. Yep.
to double check. My AC without my shield is 11. With my shield, I don't know because I lost it.
So this is an 18 to hit. So you're actually doesn't matter what your
Hooray!
shield AC bonus is. You get struck, and you get struck pretty heavily here.
God damn it!
Not again.
Not again.
So you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing kind of like ratchets like across your jaw.
Gotcha.
And when it hits you, it's kind of got this kind of like almost silky, like smooth texture, kind of like poured silicone.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
it lands and kind of like adapts to like the curvature of your jaw, and like it's not just like an object kind of loosely coming into contact with you. It like continues to press against you with force, where it made contact, not like to like rock your head back, but like
Right.
to get at you. And you begin in your mind to hear kind of voices,
Fun.
memories. And you also take 6 points of psychic damage.
Hate that. Okay.
As this thing sort of, like that sense of ripple goes through your mind, and what I'm going to ask you, Oberon.
Correct.
In this moment, the thing that the ooze kind of like pushes you towards, you get these flashes of like horrific memories, low points in your life, moments of intense or strange or unique points of suffering. What do you think as these impressions are kind of like floating through you? What moment or moments stick out to Oberon?
Probably the moments that stick out the most are after my master died, during and after that, when I was all alone for a while,
Mm-hmm.
not really knowing what I was doing. It's probably the lowest point of my life.
Yeah.
Because, I was just on my own for the first time since ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Traveling to a new plane, pursuing a new task, and being alone.
Yeah, being alone. Don't like
Yeah.
that. Did not like that. Probably my other like lowest moment was literally like a day ago, I think.
Yeah, right?
Just being rejected and feeling shame for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say those are probably the two lowest points in my life.
Totally. So with those kind of impressions, those are that's what happens, and you begin to see kind of on the next like ledge above you of this switchback, the ooze start to like acquiesce and then come forward and build upon itself. And you see a kind of a figure begin to materialize. And Oberon, would you please describe for us your mentor?
So he was an elf. He was an old,
Mhm.
well, oldish elf.
Yeah.
I mean, how would I describe him? He felt he had big boomer energy.
Yeah.
I
Like-
thought I was going in a very different direction for a second.
Like good boomer energy. Like he was a hippie in like the fantasy 60s. He was in
Yeah.
fantasy Woodstock.
Yeah. Kind of like a legendary bard.
Yeah.
Kind of, wasn't part of like the commercial system.
Yeah. He was super cool. He was super chill.
Yeah.
Which was so weird for like an elf.
Yeah.
And I vibed with him a lot. He was
Yeah, to get along with a fey creature like pure, like whimsy
Yeah.
and
He was like
and
an
kind
elf
of
that like
feeling,
didn't take himself seriously, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely. And man of average height.
I'd say a bit above average.
Yeah, kind of like a slender build if he's an elvish bard.
Yeah.
And dressed kind of in like leather fringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that figure begins to materialize on the kind of bridge before you, and it's this same sort of color, this like kind of like swirling like dark color, of this ooze, and as you look at it, you see the color kind of ripple through, and it becomes like a mirror image, like a 3D mirror image of your
I hate this.
of your mentor.
I don't like this.
Looks down at you just piercingly, And with that, we are going to move to Macaria, who's being carried by Juniper. So Macaria, I'm gonna, first things first, I'm gonna throw a perception check for her, right? As everyone's making their moves, as Kels is having her grand revelation, Macaria is looking at this chaos, worried about the things behind her, still overwhelmed. With a nat 1 on perception,
God damn it,
she
Macaria.
absolutely does not see this creature materialize up at her. Look is concerned with what's going back and the fact that Juniper is like carrying her now, so she's just kind of trying like lay flames around you guys and keep this sludge like at bay around you. So Macaria is going to maintain her her cantrip there, her produce flame cantrip, and I'm just going to double check that she doesn't have any bonus actions. She has a Misty Step, she has a Healing Word, both of those are spells. She also has, she can make another attack. Yeah, no, she's just going to maintain those flames as you go. So you guys get, main group there, you get sort of an insulation from everything that's going on. Next, we're going to move to Calagon. Calagon, right? You have this moment behind you. A Toots just kind of like dashed ahead. You've got this sort of aerial support. Mm-hmm. Do you just kind of like keep the pace?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the pace going.
Okay. So then produce flames is going to be your action to maintain that cantrip, and presumably you're going to take your full movement action. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And you're moving at a steady pace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Calagon, double check your character sheet, flexing in for Toby, if you have any bonus actions that are not spells.
Bonus
I don't
actions
think
are
you
not
do.
spells. I don't. Yeah, cantrip is like produce flame. So
Cool. So then you still have open to you sort of like an object like you're maintaining like jets of fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an object interaction, you'll have to be mindful of that. You can also just like call out something to your party, right? You kind of have a free party interaction. Do you want to roll like an ability, like a perception check as a free action?
Yeah, can I roll a perception check?
Yeah, what specifically are you kind of looking for here?
Just anything that like might be an additional danger.
Additional danger? Yeah, throw a perception check,
Okay.
and I'm going to say throw it with disadvantage
Okay.
as you're preoccupied with keeping a buffer
Okay,
around
that's
your
a
party.
14.
Okay,
I'll
throw
roll
again.
Ooh, no wait. I didn't look at it. I just wanted to
That's
see.
why we have
That's
a dice
7.
tray, but I've kind of kept it over
That's
here.
a 7.
So, is that a 7
Yeah.
plus your bonus, or is that a 7 on die?
That's a 7 on the die. I
Okay.
think my bonus.
Perception bonus?
Perception. Oh,
Yeah.
I was looking at persuasion. That's
No,
actually
totally.
plus 4. So 7 plus 4 is 11.
So 11, not that. You're definitely in a very high stakes, high stress situation. You've got shit flying behind you, above you, you've got shit behind you. You kind of, you look up and you see some sort of like pseudo mass near Oberon,
Okay.
and that might be something. That also might just be a pile of sludge.
Okay.
It might just be sludge over a rock.
Okay.
But there's definitely Oberon. There's some weird thing near Oberon, but
Okay.
you have no way of making any conclusions
I have no way of
about it.
knowing what that is.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's something developing with the sludge over there. I think specifically Calagon would be not worrying about that right now. You're worried about what's in front of you.
I'm producing
Yeah.
this flame. Like.
You're producing that there
Yeah.
flame. And so with that, we're going to jump to Yev, and presumably you take your movement forward. So
Yeah,
so
that's-
Kels, you can also move forward. Yev, who's with the group now, so it's just the 3 of you? Yeah, it's just the 3 of you. So you're also clear to take your movement forward.
Yeah. Other than
and
the
stick with
slime,
group.
are the multi-legged things here yet?
They'll be here soon.
Okay.
They're close.
But they're not within 120
Yeah, if you
feet.
want to throw a perception down, you
afraid
can
it's
get a better
backfiring.
idea.
Yeah, that's a 2.
A 2.
I knew it was gonna backfire.
Yeah, they just kind of. It felt like they just materialized over kind of the hill, the rocky, crag last time.
Mm-hmm.
They might just pop up. Like,
Yeah.
they might just be blinking around and shit. Like, you don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It does weird things to sound down here. You have no idea how soon they might be upon you.
Great. So there's nothing I can hit?
Nothing you can hit. No. I would say, but you are overcome with anxiety that they could be here at any
I'm
moment.
always overcome with anxiety. This changes nothing. In-game, out of
I
game.
know. I had an NPC touch your emotional support knife.
Right.
So other than that, I mean, there's nothing really I can do other than just keep on moving because
Yep.
nothing is within hitting distance.
If you would like, you can prepare an action to use as a reaction. I'm going to throw this out. So if you want to get a spell ready, right? You say, I'm going to cast XYZ. I'm ready to cast this.
Yeah,
If
let me take a quick...
this trigger pops off, right?
Let me take a quick eye
Um,
at the damages I can do.
Because we're in a weird place, right? And I'm trying to give you the strategies here, while still binding you to initiative and movement order, right? We're in a weird kind of, you're dealing with the environment. I want to set you up for success here to do cool stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll prepare Scorching Ray, just in case.
Just in case you see it. So are you specifically, I'm going to limit you a little
Yes.
bit, right? To kind of
I'm looking for the blobs,
behind
not for
you.
the slime.
Sounds good. So if anything comes up behind you, if the creatures, the roiling creatures come up behind you, you're going to zap them.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Zap.
Cool, and then you move with the party. Cool. So we go back to the top of initiative order. We're all kind of making our headway, setting up kind of a new status quo. I'm going to throw the image. And what is your former master's name?
Slimmy something pun of Jimi Hendrix.
Slimmy Gendrix. The
Slimmy Gendrix, that's right.
Oh,
Slimmy
so
Gendrix.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Slimmy
taking
Gendrix. Real revolutionary, some like David Bowie vibes. Cool. And so we got that. Awesome. Okay. So we move to the top of the initiative order with Oberon
Yes.
as a 21. So do you want to do your dash action, your movement here? This
Yeah.
thing is peering straight down at you. What instrument? Do you play guitar?
Yeah. Play
Play guitar. Or he's got his guitar out and he's just kind of like piercingly staring at you, like shaking his head just back and forth, very judgmentally.
I feel like I would have to like slow down.
Yeah.
Like even if I'm like wanting to like get out as like as soon as I can, I would need to like slow down significantly.
Yeah.
Can I even though like I'm fucking I guess like tripping on slime, I guess.
Yeah.
Like can I call out to like my party members still?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're not that far away.
Okay.
And even though it's chaotic, right? The only sound is the kind of like jet of fire, a couple of them going. But yeah, you can
Okay.
absolutely call out.
Yeah, I'd like to call out, guys. I'm experiencing traumas.
Oh, just like me for real.
Just like me for real.
Join the club, buddy.
The slimes are making traumas. I don't know what to do now. I'm not having a good time. This is not. I'm not feeling fly like a G6 right now.
Not feeling so fly right now. Not at all like a G6.
Nope.
I got a 2 in perception, so I'll be honest, I don't think I can see your blob of
Also,
trauma.
my fucking like HP is god awful. I say that's specifically HP is
Yeah.
awful right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I can perceive your blob. I can hear your cries of distress, and I'm like, hang in there, bud!
I'm distressing and in pain. Someone please help. That is what I call out.
I do not perceive slime. I'm only looking for the blobs. This has to be
Yeah.
one of you.
I don't know. Does anybody think they might? Oh man, yeah. Everybody.
I'm just focused.
Kels might be the only one, and Maggie stepped away for a second. Might be the only one who's got the wherewithal, that or Toots, to help you. So if you want to go, throw out a
Blast
performance
fire,
check.
dude.
Throw out a performance.
Gotcha.
For me.
I'm gonna see if I can find your stats.
performance.
I don't know what her stats are. Right.
Okay, I got a 10 in performance.
Okay.
You're needed.
So you would have to meet or beat kind of everyone's
Let's call upon Kels.
perception for their save here. Throw me a wisdom saving throw. No, sorry, not you, Kels.
Okay.
I'm not good at wisdom.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on?
So much.
Where am I?
Honestly, it's just in character for you not to know. So
Yeah.
throw a wisdom saving throw.
That is. Oh my god, wait, that's an 18.
18.
Woo!
So that's actually bad.
Why?
Why do you do this?
Because of how low, so both you and I, as Toots Marshmallow, were setting the DC. He did not exceed or meet the DC for a performance. So you're calling out to everyone.
Yeah.
No one hears you.
Oh god, my worst fear.
You are again
Trauma's magnified.
alone, and you turn back, and you see kind of your mentor. Just crouched down over the kind of edge here, guitar like really cool, just like dangling from the side, just being like, you were meant to be so much more.
Leave me alone.
Ouch, buddy.
Why aren't you dead?
And it's still your turn.
I'd like to roll to cry.
Yeah. If you want to make attacks, if you want to take your movement, get out of here. I will say where this thing is, if you were to do your leap, it would get an attack of opportunity as you leapt past it. Now, you would be doing a leap, right? It would roll with disadvantage, right? Because it's not like you're just walking past me with a fucking sword, right? But this thing would get a chance to make some sort of an attack.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm in character, I'd probably I'd probably stop leaping at this point.
Okay.
As for like my action, I think I would want to fucking use my banana boomerang for the first time ever now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like hit it.
Right. Your ranged weapon.
Yeah, with my
Yeah. Roll a d20 and attack with your ranged weapon,
Up to 7.
which should add your dex to your chance to hit.
Dex. Where's my dex?
Your dex modifier.
Yep. There it is. +1, so 8.
So 8 to hit. How do I want to say this? You throw, right? You throw, and you do make contact with the creature, right? It looks like when you threw it, you didn't throw it with quite enough force, or that is to say, you were very close on hitting its AC. You were extremely close with an 8. But it kind of like skims the creature without leaving much. Again, it would be like hitting a piece of silicone with kind of like a blunt object. Like it's like bap. Like, okay. And just kind of like grazes it without leaving any damage.
Does it taste?
Returns to you.
Does it taste banana?
Do you lick your boomerang?
I mean, like my boomerang spell thing is that whatever it hits gets the artificial banana flavor.
Yeah.
Just imparted onto them.
So you would have to taste this creature to know.
Oh, okay.
You would have to then
Lick
also,
it.
I mean, you could also try licking the
Lick,
slime.
lick.
I don't want to lick the slime. That sounds like a terrible
Like
idea.
a slime.
Cool. So
Of course you'd say
if you
that,
don't
Kels.
take movement, or you don't take the dash action, do you still want to take movement and try to make progress here?
Probably
Wait for
not.
the party. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
That's a fine call. I do want to remind you that if you stay still, the ooze is going to start attacking.
Oh, the ooze.
Which
Right.
Love
you
it.
don't quite know what's going to happen. You don't know how bad it's going to be. And you also, right, Kels can throw out help to
Right.
things like dexterity checks, right? Which, I mean, you don't know, but so you got that decision there if you still want to stay. Just making sure everything's on the table. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
trick anyone.
Yeah, I think I'd like to stay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like to stay. All right. So we move from Oberon, who is truly and again fully alone in this situation, to Juniper, who's carrying
Later,
Macaria. Juniper, what direction do you want to start moving here? Do you want to make an assessment? Do you have a plan?
I want to make an assessment.
Okay.
Because in my peripherals I see Oberon
Yeah.
doing what he's doing, so I want to know what's going on. Are we safe?
Throw me if you want perception or insight.
Let's see. I have to check my modifiers. They're the same.
Okay,
Okay.
Perception is going to be gathering new information. Insight is going to be conclusions about information you already have. Let me put it that way then, if they are the same.
Perception.
Cool. So perception, throw me a perception roll.
12.
What's your modifier?
+1.
+1. Okay. Cool. So yeah, with that, you look around, you survey, you start to look at Oberon. You see this elf where it's not an Eladrin. It looks like an elf from back home wearing clothes from the 60s, right? So it looks like a creature from back on your side of the royal. And in fact, give me a history roll. You might recognize this individual,
Yeah,
actually.
pretty famous.
He's a pretty famous musician,
Yeah.
right? So DC is like,
13.
yeah, I was gonna say like 12. Yeah. So you recognize, what's his name again?
Slimmy Gendrix.
Slimmy Gendrix. Yeah, no, so like Slimmy Gendrix is just like hanging out, looking down, and something kind of like flashes in your mind. And Oberon is mentioned once or twice around the fire at the tavern. You know, his mentor. That you for a moment you're like, oh shit, did he play with Slimmy Gendrix? And your heart like stops for a second. You're like, is he here? What the fuck?
This is a weird moment to be starstruck.
No, it's super weird. And for all intents and purposes, you just see this elf. You just see this elf and Oberon looking like really panicked, like looking up at him. Yeah.
I yell to Oberon, how can I help? What's going on?
Pain.
Pain.
So much pain. I'm so alone.
I think you've spent enough time with Oberon that you know something like that is a reference and a dire request for assistance. Yeah. Things are dire.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I tell Macaria, we have to help Hope.
Cool. Roll a persuasion. I'll say DC on this is going to be like a 14.
Oh, I was gonna say 11.
Yeah.
What is it
Do you want to accept the roll? You want to?
I don't.
Okay, cool. Throw me a new
Do
roll.
it again.
If it goes in the pit, do you want to throw it in the tray?
I do.
Yeah, we should be.
do.
Like,
I need to be passing the tray around. I'm so
Yeah.
like locked in.
16.
60. Cool. Yeah. So what specifically do you say to Macaria?
Oberon's in trouble.
Yeah.
I need your help.
You feel something like shift in her mind. She goes like tense. She looks up, and she sees right Oberon like on his own, like caught. You feel like the tense and kind of like a rippling through her, and she shouts, "Absolutely!" And she says, "Let's go," and directs her attention towards helping Oberon. Do you make your move over there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'll say between all that, you kind of spent your action here. You're just an airplane. You're just a drone at this point, which is like not to that's fucking insane. Like that's huge, right? You're carrying like a giant flamethrower, right? So you're working together, but that's kind of where you're at,
Like
right? So you're in
G6.
control of directing attention. This sort of perspective. And you think from this angle, as people are getting split and moving, and Toots is moving on his own, that you might be able to coordinate a little bit like this. That might be kind of the best thing for you to do in this situation. Cool. From Juniper, we go to Kels. Kels, you see above you kind of Juniper shift and Macaria stop covering, and Yev, you definitely notice this too, covering the back of you guys, so you're going to need to be moving a little bit quicker here so you don't have flame going out behind you, kind of steady. And you notice as well Oberon trapped and on his own. And those kind of commands and that like blessing from the Vagabond God ring through you.
So I noticed that he is being abandoned.
Yeah. Well, the party is currently rallying around him. You know, you throw me a history check as well. And actually, while we're here, everyone throw me a history check to see if you all know.
Are you all literate?
Well, let me check to see what I have
Are you
to
experienced?
history.
Are you?
Oh, that's
I
plus
got a
0, so
12 with a negative.
I got a
one.
15.
15.
I got a 10.
I got a
10.
11.
So y'all's music.
11.
s-
So the
sucks.
only one who knows this guy is Calagon, who I presume met him at some point in his music connoisseur. When you've come in and out, you kind of like vibe with him. You know, I really thought Kels would know. Like, really
I
thought
don't
you guys
know things.
Yeah, so honestly, I am actually certain that you've met this man before he died. You just do not remember. You've been to a lot of.
I remember Slimmy Gendrix. Like,
Yeah.
he fucked, dude.
No, 100, and like you've been to a lot of festivals, and like you don't remember shit.
Ouch.
Yeah. So yeah, you have no idea who this figure is. Kind of menacing, bearing down on Oberon.
Just a very fashionable elf. Just
Very fashionable. To you, yeah, no, 100%, very fashionable.
Okay, well, that's my buddy, so I'm
Yeah.
like, is this guy bothering you?
Yes.
I'm so alone.
Again, you've been with Oberon long enough. You know that is a dire cry for assistance. This man is being persecuted.
Okay, I am going to cast Bless
Yeah.
on Oberon,
Cool.
Calagon, and then who else is closest to me?
Sorry, Yev and
Oh.
Calagon
Okay.
are immediately next to you.
Okay, so Oberon, Calagon, and Yev.
Oberon, Calagon, and Yev.
So
The dream
that
team.
is you bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range, which is 30 feet. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number of the rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
Cool.
So
And who has the Bardic?
Oh, yeah, it does.
So you're rocking a Bless and a Bardic right now if you're in trouble.
Cool.
okay, so don't die.
Thanks.
And that's what I say as I bless you. I go, don't die.
So alone.
Okay, well, I can't help you with that because I'm right here and that doesn't seem to matter to you. So I thought we were friends, but whatever.
Oh, and just for clarity, Oberon is for sure not within 30 feet of you, but since you rolled a nat 20 on religion, you can absolutely throw a Bless beyond your
Oh,
spell
damn, I'm
range.
so good at religion. I also am yelling that at the same time.
I
My
feel-
God loves me. Pew pew pew.
Okay,
I feel divine energy, but still very alone.
I would
that's not my
say
problem.
with the blessing from the Vagabond God,
Mhm.
some of that, it goes from kind of despair to like this kind of like feeling of like soft, fuzzy melancholy. And then
I fuck with that.
you feel kind of this like feline like purr, you know, like a healing, like you're holding a cat, just kind of like radiate across your chest, and you're like, no, maybe I'm not alone.
Maybe I'm not alone. Maybe I have friends.
Alright,
And you
listen,
steady
we're-
yourself just a little bit, just a little bit.
We're all alone until we find others.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I keep going forward, I guess. And then I will end my turn there.
Okay. And we'll pop that movement action when Calagon progresses forward. Cool. So next, we go to the ooze, and I just provide
the
a
ooze.
food.
Can we give the ooze a name so that you stop saying the ooze?
The ooze.
What? What do you
Trademark.
You all would have to figure it out. The ooze has a name. I have a full creature. I've got this thing is built. You just don't know, and also you've never asked. You've never tried to figure
I
it
yelled
out.
at that ooze. It could have responded.
Can I ask the ooze what its name is?
Nothing happens.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys could ask.
Can I
it to
cast
the
speak with
academy.
animals on the ooze?
You absolutely could if you wanted to. So the slime, the ooze, it moves. Here's what it's gonna do. Here's what it's gonna do. It is. Yeah. So it's gonna cast on. I'm gonna say Yev.
Fun!
Um,
Who's loves
throw
me?
Throw me a wisdom saving throw.
Well, I've been rolling like shit today, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this goes.
Good.
Nat 20!
Fucking way. Fuck you, Ooze.
Let's fucking go,
Really?
dude.
I'm okay. All right. No, that's
You
not.
have to honor it, Matt.
I hear you're correct. Yeah, so that's an we'll call that an
Is
automatic
he was
success.
in love with me now?
Here's what happens.
Uh-huh.
Similarly
Oh no.
to feelings you got inside the Socardian College when your mind was being pressed by a creature with psionic
Yeah,
abilities.
but I'm the only one who endured that. I made it through. Everyone else got.
Sure did. You feel that sensation again.
Ugh.
Except less, how do I put this? You would identify it as less refined, less pointed, less meaningful, maybe less limited. Just a aggressive lashing out, right, of psionics. Like you stumble, you get like the worst head rush of your life. So you collapse for a minute, you feel like you're about to fucking vomit, like it's just this wave,
Man,
this
it's Nat
pressure.
20 into a shit.
No, this pressure over you. And then after a moment it passes. And you get the sense of whatever was trying to pierce your mind did not succeed. And in fact, this sort of wild attack, you feel like you will be more prepared for it if it happens again.
Can I try to mentally attack the use as well as it was like poking at my mind?
No.
Ah.
No. It's not a feedback kind of thing. Cool. So, that's an action. And then we're gonna go to Macaria, who began spreading flames kind of over and about chew my food. Over and about around Oberon. Oberon, you see this creature react to fire.
As a creature.
And I'm going to try to protect. Produce flames is a +4 to hit for 1d8. So I'm going to throw a chance to hit. 14. Based on your boomerang toss, right? Macaria would literally have to roll a nat 1 to fail this attack.
Did you roll in that one?
No. She threw a 14 on
Okay, good.
it, so it's like a 20 something. And so that's going to be, we'll say for an attack here, Macaria, for a concerted attack, is going to throw this out at first level. So we're going to do 2d8. Does that sound good to you, Oberon?
Yeah.
Kind of inspired by Juniper here and the intensity of the situation. Throws out 2d8 for 8 points of fire damage. As this thing, the visage of your former mentor just becomes like overrun with flames, just like whoosh, and spreads beyond it. You see that. Actually, throw me a perception roll.
-1, so 4.
4. You just see flames flash out. You just see flames overtake this thing, it begins to immolate.
It sure does.
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead and next. This is the fun part. Those of you with Calagon, Kels, and Yev, and also this would concern Toots, but I'm Toots, so you know. You guys, Yev, I would say based on your kind of psychic response,
Yeah.
you feel just like an intended kind of wave of psychic energy ripple out, and not targeted at any particular creature, just kind of general. And you all begin to notice a series of figures rise from the ooze, kind of two by in front of Toots, 3 or 4 in front of Calagon. We'll call it 3, and 2 on either side of you guys, and you start to see several forming behind you all. None of them look like they have a particular face or appearance. And Yev, I think without having to roll for it, you conclude that whatever was trying to get a piece of information from you, it just kind of threw some standard forms out at you guys in sort of like an aggressive gambit.
Yeah.
On your turn, however, you can take a closer look at them and get some more information that you can share with the party.
Is it my
I'll tell you
turn
that
yet,
now.
or are we still
I believe it is, because you are...
did Calagon already go?
No. So these new creatures got introduced after the ooze, and Yev is a 4, so it's Calagon then Yev.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still blasting out fire, I guess. I don't know. Is there anything I can roll to like try to find out what these people are, or do we already know it's...
I would say roll insight. So they're
Okay,
kind of
roll
like
an insight.
faceless, almost like mannequin-like.
Okay, I have +4 on insight.
Mm-hmm.
That's 17 plus 4 is 21.
And did I say perception or insight?
Insight.
Insight, okay. I'll say this. What'd you roll on the die? A 17?
17 plus
17.
my 4.
I'll give you the option. So 17 is on the die.
Okay.
But for an ability modifier, do you want to go with insight or arcana?
Arcana is +0 for me, but
Okay.
insight is +4, so I'll go
So
with...
take your insight. You are a druid.
Yes.
You're a druid that has traveled far and wide and seen all sorts of fucked up things. You've
Yeah.
traveled to the Underdark, you've fought monsters, like real monsters. These, like oozes, slimes, you've encountered creatures and things like that before. Some are environmental, some can be sentient. You get the sense that this is some sort of ooze that has kind of like a divergent evolution. So it's not quite similar to anything you guys have back on your half of the royal, but like this sort of psionic ability, this ability to like create and manifest forms, not unheard of.
Okay.
But this seems to be a creature that has grown to an unprecedented scale and produced those effects on sort of an unprecedented level that you are aware of. Now, this might be entirely natural to this environment, but given the nature of the emissary's eye and the sort of magical disruptions going on here, I mean, fuck it, dude, this thing might be feeding off something, this thing might be cultivated, this thing might be an anomaly that's disrupting things. Who knows, right? But this is it's something intense going on.
Okay, so I'm gonna let people know what I saw.
Yeah, so you share that with the party.
Yeah.
Anybody else who's making, I'll say, when you throw your checks, you can do them with advantage. We're all kind of gathering some information here, and Oberon, right? People are starting to recognize your mentor. Like, that doesn't make sense. And now you've seen these kind of like neutral forms, and you've been struck. It's coming together. It's coming together for you guys. So then, Calagon, do you want to just keep moving forward with fire?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going forward with some
Do you
fire.
make a specific intention to hit any of the forms that have emerged between
Yeah, I'm
you and
gonna
Toots?
try to hit. I have 3 forms in front of me.
Okay.
I guess I'll go for the one in the middle.
Yeah, so you're kind of like spreading, clearing a path, hitting these creatures when you can.
Druid. Let's
Go ahead and roll me. Man, how do I want to do this? Go ahead and roll me, D8 fire damage.
Okay, so that's sorry. That's
The diamond.
this thing right here, right? Or no?
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think so.
So fire damage. How many of these? Just one.
Just throw a 1d8.
Okay. That is a 4.
4. Okay, so you throw out 4 damage. You're using it environmentally. It's clearing. It's doing that job. But when you get the chance to throw it up on a creature, I don't know if it's like a flame breath weapon or from your hands or whatever. But you kind of immolate just like one of the creatures, or just like Oberon's mentor. These creatures catch up like a pillar of flame. You just like graze them and they just whoosh. Right?
Weird. Okay,
So long,
cool.
sweet prince.
Yeah, no, like the ooze itself has been fleeing, reacting to the fire. These things are highly flammable. Highly flammable.
Cool.
And so
Like,
you
just
throw
coated in
4
asbestos.
points of damage, and I would say, you're kind of like sweeping out at these kind of forms. Yeah, you kind of like burn away like 1 or 2 of them as you go.
Okay,
Of
just
the
with
couple.
that 4.
Yeah, just with the 4.
Okay.
So I think anybody who's observing, right, these are like imperfect, weaker creatures. I did.
Perfect. They're perfect to me.
I did skip over
So wholesome.
Toots, and I'll just say Toots maintains the aura, maintains the rage, and Toots is a bouncer.
Yes, he is.
A Goliath bouncer barbarian. So I made Toots to be sort of like a grappler. So Toots, with this aura up, kind of like runs towards these creatures, and some of them are like catching on fire right away as Toots approaches, just from the intense heat. And the ones that don't like immediately melt, Toots, like in a practiced maneuver of a bouncer that works on like a frontier dockside, just like under the jaw, arm behind the back, like pins them to the ground in just a solid strike to the back of the head.
That's
So
hot.
grapple, unarmed strike, and just like pops these things in like a fiery burst, and like really easily with moving can like nail like 2 or 3 of them, and is continuing pretty unimpeded. There are a couple that Toots has just like ran past, right? This seems to be now, it's not just the ooze, it's the ooze and these things wherever you go. And then we go to Yev.
How many of the blobby guys are still around?
They're starting to continue to materialize. And there's like maybe 2 that Calagon moved past that didn't clear, 2 or 3 that Toots didn't quite clear, and behind you there's some kind of starting to like Terminator 2 style like begin to rise up.
How about the, particularly like the creatures that aren't here yet but are on their way?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. As the only person worried about that.
That's a 12 plus 3, so 15.
You can tell from the last 2 rounds that they are getting closer.
Yes, but they're not 120 feet
They're
closer.
not 120 feet,
They're
at
not.
least without line of sight. Now, let me say this. As your tension is building, you can flame bolt, right? Is what
I
you
have
have
Scorching
prepared?
Ray.
Scorching
queued up,
Ray.
But I'm not going to waste these on. I'm not going to spam.
Absolutely. You can always zap the terrain. You can try to block them. That's a possibility. So you don't see him yet. You check behind you. You see the party. You see Oberon kind of overtaken. You see Toots running forward. You see flying Juniper and Macaria.
You
in
said
all these
I
forms.
could try to speak with animals with the ooze. Will that let it back into my mind?
I said you could try to speak to animals. As you guys have been talking, you've gained enough information. This is not an animal. This is an ooze. or
Okay,
a
I think I
or-
already had that
it's
information.
Not, yeah, it's
That's
not
pretty instant.
fauna.
The ooze is
It's
an
not
ooze.
fauna in
Keep
any way
that.
that you
Okay.
communicate with.
Okay. And Chill Touch did nothing, so I guess I'm just gonna Burning Hands, Thin Sheet of Flame, shoots forth from outstretched fingertips, 15-foot cone. So I'm gonna try to maneuver however I can get the most of these blobby fellas.
Yeah.
So however we want to like mental maths that.
So for anyone's reference, I'm using kind of like a swarm creature.
Yeah.
Or typically I'll go into swarm combat if there's a lot of like CR, like a quarter creatures. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, where you can like, if you get above the AC, you can get
Okay.
up to that amount. So go ahead and throw me an attack roll, right? Because it uses chance to hit, right? Burning Hands.
That hit. Can I reroll? Because it literally just blocked.
Yeah. It's fine.
Take your nat 1.
We'll take your nat 1.
That was a 5. It's also not going to hit.
So with a 5, you're throwing out your burning hands. You for sure like tear up the ones that are forming behind you, right? But it's starting to feel like an insane task because for every one that you burn, right, you see several more forming up your entire journey.
Yep.
So I think with that, you're doing your best to maintain a status quo or a semblance of status quo here as you guys are making progress. Anything else? Any bonus action?
I'm just gonna keep running. I don't really care to investigate these guys. I just want to scram.
Totally. And you still have that bless. You still have that bardic. Which, goddamn, that fucking nat 20. I thought I was gonna get those away from you. Cool. And so with Yev, we hop to the back, to the top again. That's gonna be Oberon.
There's not been on top.
Goddamn right. Oberon, you see this kind of like ooze begin to move towards you. You can tell its intention is to overtake you. It's now or never, or you're gonna really suffer in a moment here.
Okay. I would like to attack that ooze.
That ooze. I was literally thinking doing the same
The ooze broadly, or your mentor. The visage of your mentor that is now totally immersed in the flame.
I think I'm starting to get that like my mentor, the visage of my mentor is actually just the ooze trying to fuck with me, right? Like,
yeah, I would say
that,
know as it burned, it didn't make any noise.
Right.
Which is odd.
Yeah.
I think you should form a hive mind with us in response.
Yeah.
I should.
because Kevin and I went.
Yeah, exactly. There's precedent.
Yeah.
I'd like to. Oh God, I don't have any really great attacks. The closest thing I have to fire is thunder. I mean, thunder's flammable-ish, I guess. It can cause flames.
Throw a punch.
I would say I'll give you this. Yeah, if you have or find something flammable and you strike it with thunder, I will allow that to begin to start a fire.
What around me is flammable besides like Kelsper?
Calagon has a
second cloak.
huge
Do you
crate
want
of
that?
stuff.
I'm just carrying shit for you.
You can
guys.
make like a pseudo torch.
For us.
Like if you it would have to be
Yeah,
at
wait,
least
Oh my
Is
god,
it
Is it
the document that we all signed.
Yes.
But that'll burn in like a second, right? You want something that, although I get you're looking for some wood or something.
Okay. Is the salve that we have, is that flammable?
Juniper's salves. If struck with lightning, would they be flammable?
Yes.
So every once in a while, as a GM, you're given a blessing. And this is it.
I think
These
all
are the
Nero
kinds of
cream
things
should be
GMs
flammable.
need to think about.
Yeah, I'd say they're probably in conductive metal tins. I would say they're probably like highly flammable.
Okay.
You know,
I want
Juniper, how do you feel about that?
I'd say I have the power of lightning and fire, so I would say they're flammable.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna yell
Unless
at
you need them to be.
I do need them to be flammable.
Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
In my good sense, I would probably make something I couldn't accidentally turn into a bomb, but.
Or would I wait?
So you would have to call out. Now, this is
So many
party.
things
I'm going to
bombs.
address this to the party in good faith. Who would be carrying these? Would each of you have a little? Would Juniper, you have them all? Would they be in Calagon's kind of crate? Where would they be?
I feel
Where
like
would
Realistically.
they be?
If the answer is all, like, I just need to know, like, total honesty, realistically, where would they be so we can run this correctly?
I would not have one unless someone slipped it into my stuff because I'm not interested in things that I do not understand.
Yeah.
I would
I have
absolutely-
no choice but to have this on my back because
Yeah,
I'm carrying
so it's for
this.
sure with Calagon. Now,
Yeah.
Juniper, do you think you have a significant amount on you of these things?
I may have a couple in my backpack.
Do
but
you
not
think
too
that's
many.
something that you would be able to deliver to Oberon? Because Oberon, you could delay your turn, your initiative, and go after Juniper, who is next in the initiative order. So she could toss it to
Yeah.
you, and then you take your turn.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Okay.
I have to put down Macaria, right?
Or figure out a way to, I don't know if it's got like class that you can undo while you're holding someone, asking Makari to do, you
Okay.
that's your challenge, is figuring that out.
Got it.
So if you want to delay your
Yeah,
turn
I'll do that.
and you're on board, you
Yeah.
can go ahead with this plan.
Yes.
All
Okay,
right.
cool.
So,
So it goes to you.
I fly up to you, Oberon. and
Yeah,
I turn
yeah.
around. I say, "It's in my backpack. It's in my backpack. You go in. It's in the first pocket.
Totally.
Get a couple cans out."
That's a
The
lot of
fully
directions.
object interaction, if you fly and put your back to him and face Macaria down to the rest of the party, instead of hitting your mentor, you can absolutely rummage in there and with your lightning magic, you can make grenades essentially.
I want to make magic grenades.
Cool. Yeah, so 100%. And so you can direct Macaria back towards the rest of the party. The rest of the party, you get a little bit of breathing room from Macaria. We know that's what's going to be happening. Is there anything else you want to do with your turn here?
I actually have a grenade in my backpack.
Oh, well.
that I took from the store. But we can save that.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
I
have your
understand.
potions and stuff like that.
I'm
Right?
save
Don't
that.
forget. Okay. Cool. So, you grab the tins of venereal cream, and I'll say on your turn you can toss them.
Yeah.
It'll be a pretty minor like strength check to make sure you toss them in the right place.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and do that.
Yikes. It's a 19.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know what sort of weird fairy games you all played in the Feywild to trick humans into like selling their souls or being turned to dogs or
Ultimate
some
Frisbee.
nasty horrible shit. Yeah, and so like maybe it's ultimate frisbee, but
Yeah.
you like with hockey pucks.
Sure.
And like you guys could throw them because you're magical, but every human was like fucked. It's a lot like that specific
Gotcha.
thing that we all have a point of reference for.
Of course.
For sure.
And so you're able to just toss them like flawlessly wherever you want to put them. So I'll say with your spell,
Mhm.
action of tossing and then throwing out a spell is 1.
Gotcha. I would like to do that.
Okay. Well, what are you trying to hit?
So I'm trying to hit my mentor who is currently immolating.
Okay. Yeah.
Make
So
it
you
way
just
harder.
kind of like
Yeah,
toss
kill
it
him.
into him and then bam.
Kill him while he's down.
Cool. So roll your chance to hit with your spell.
Okay. What is that? Thunder wave. Cube. Constitution saving throw on. Okay. So that was a 12
12 plus.
plus what is the modifier for that?
What's the spell again?
Thunder wave. I don't think I wrote that down.
Thunder wave. Ranges a self on a 15-foot cube.
Yes.
Creatures within the cube must make a con save. They take 2d8 thunder damage. Okay. If you do this, you
Yes.
are gonna hit and it's thunder, not electricity.
Yeah, thunder wave.
Yeah. So thunder is force. I think it does. Is it force damage? And it knocks foes. Oh no, it does do thunder damage.
Oh god, good.
Interesting. Not for. Okay, sorry. I'm getting confused. Yeah. So you are going to have your 2 allies make con saves, or they will be hit with this damage, unless you move away from them and up to your mentor.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to
Okay.
just jump
Go.
towards him.
So you just it's an easy just leap right onto the ledge in front of you.
Yeah.
I will have you make a dexterity saving throw because you've waited and the ooze is beginning to overtake you.
Okay. Dexterity
Yes.
plus 1. So that is a what was that again? Oh, 6. 6.
So you are going to take 4 points
Wow. Okay.
of psionic damage as you kind of like this stuff like snaps off of you.
Okay.
Right? Like it was glued and it just like tore off, and you feel that like split in your mind, and everything just like goes black for a second, and you manage to just like heave yourself onto the next ledge, landing square in a pile of ooze, right? And so if you do that, you hop up, and then just like from the ground, you're like, bam, like thunder wave. You don't need to do. You just like right, and it just like goes off on you. In a 15-foot cube, you hit the venereal cream that you've embedded in the burning form of your master, and it was heating up, but sparks, right, and then explodes. So go ahead and roll your 2d8 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
First of all, your 2d8 thunder damage.
Yep. This one d8? Yeah, this is 3. 5 and 6.
Oh my god. So that's 11 points of thunder damage, right? And then I'm going to use just kind of a standard bomb here with what we're doing. I'll reduce it. We're gonna go 2d6. So throw me 2 more d6. And hold on, I'm gonna give you my casino dice here from Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Throw those. I trust your luck.
I'm feeling lucky.
So that is 5 more points of damage.
Love it.
Wait, these are all mine.
Damn.
So that is 11. That is 16 points of damage. And all of you, anyone who is not paying attention, cannot miss the crackling electricity and then boom, right? Just like this quick, snappy explosion go off. And flaming chunks of slime, right? Kind of like rain down past you guys.
Sorry about that, guys.
Disgusting,
It's like
Oberon.
fucking mortars.
Yeah, and immediately in your area, you are now sitting in a cleared area, okay? So you're safe for a moment.
Love it.
You've also moved up another flight, so I'm going to mark that as a success. And you've taken out the visage of your master. These bits of like kind of like molten ooze rain down amongst you all, and where they fall, some of them striking these sort of like pseudo creatures, right? Those creatures immediately dissipate. The ooze, if anybody wants to roll insight, you can,
Okay.
or a flat intelligence check.
Well, that slipped out of my hand. Can I roll again?
No. If it lands on the table, I'm gonna keep it.
Oh,
Insight or
alright.
flat intelligence.
3.
I rolled a 21.
21,
I got a 10.
10. Did anyone beat a 21?
I didn't roll.
Okay. So, Calagon. As these chunks of
Chunks.
pseudo creatures land amongst the main body of the ooze, you can see that unlike when you guys are hitting them with flame and it hits for a moment and then it recedes, where it lands, it clears a spot for this flaming chunk to land, and you start to see all of these divots form. 2 things are clear. 1, this creature has a consciousness as its body is being segmented. Okay? It has a unified consciousness which fits into your model of it being a psionic creature. Okay? The second is you guys have been going focus, right? Focus your flame. And that's been good. That's been working for you because you need kind of a shield around you. But if you can't come up with some way to make, for all intents and purposes, right, bits of fire rain down, you guys are going to have a much easier time of getting through this. Now, I don't know if you have any way to do it, but you see a cause and effect, and you're immediately like, I need to replicate that.
Okay, so we need to rain more fire upon
If
them?
you can find ways of doing that,
Okay.
yeah. So, and apparently, right, the venereal cream is flammable
It sure
and
is.
can be used as an explosive.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that meets your mind. But if you guys have any other explosives to make this sort of effect, right? Because it was chunks, and you think that almost like a regular demolition, if pieces of the rock side fly off coated in heat or fire, it might also have this effect and poke through this thing like Swiss cheese.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I have a potion that makes things really big.
You could. Well,
Can
I've
I
got produce
potion the
flame.
fire to make it really big?
It would have to be a material object and a willing sentient creature.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Is who's willing?
However, it would make it really easy for you to climb up if you were several times your size.
I guess. But would that be entertaining enough?
Who
I
cares?
think it
We
would.
just need to destroy
Would
the
it-
slime.
Would it draw the attention of the slime if I was ginormous?
And making footfalls? Very possibly. It's hard to know the limitations of this thing's attention, right? That's another area you guys were fuzzy, right? It's looking at, with the size of this thing, right? Each of your footfalls is like a pinprick of contact, okay? Now, if there were to be, like, equivalent to my body mass, someone punching me in the face, right, every time you stepped on
Let's
it,
test it out.
who knows what that does to it as a whatever sensory system that it has, okay? You might be able to tax its attention. It might not do anything, right? It might just be still equally able to divide its attention, but now your footfall covers a much larger area, which could be advantageous or disadvantageous. It's very hard to tell.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
wait,
using
where
my
were we?
brain.
Whose turn were we on? Juniper just went. Oberon took his deferred turn, so it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kels. Okay.
Oh, it is my turn.
Yeah, it is your
Okay.
turn. I had to double check my initiative order.
Who else has a fire spell?
I do. I have produce flame.
Okay.
And Macaria. And Oberon has a system that can make fire, and Yev has a
Yep.
fire.
I
Bolt.
have two different,
I
not
keep
fireball,
forgetting.
but I have two different ones. One I used, one I didn't.
Yeah.
Burning Hands, and then I have Scorching Ray.
And are either of them cantrips?
No, that's the unfortunate thing. I already used
Burning
Burning
Hands.
Hands.
She'd be
once.
burning through spell slots, and you can tell it's not the same as their kind of just like fire. It's like whoosh.
I have
Yours is a
Eldritch
cantrip,
Blast,
though.
Mine
which
is a cantrip.
Okay, so I'm gonna drink the potion and get really big, and I'm gonna pick up Calagon, and I'm gonna use him like a flamethrower.
So remind me the name. I'm gonna just double check myself here. The name of the potion I gave you. What was it?
I wrote it down, and now it's gone.
That's what character sheets are for.
I wrote it down, and now it's gone. Hold on, let me see
I
if
think
I
this is
do
really
have it.
unmatched for expecting you to remember.
I wrote
saying
it down for the first time in my
I
life. I wrote
God.
something down.
Thought I wrote all the potions down for you all.
Potion of big.
Well, I think Toby
This
in
was
this
like,
moment
I
would be
asked
like, "What do you expect?"
you
us
to
to say?"
randomize it, and that's what you came up with.
No, I had a couple that I was ready to go on. So here it is. Potion of giant size.
Potion of giant size.
Before I was
Very simple.
5 feet. Now I am very large.
When you drink this potion, you become huge for 24 hours if you're medium or small. When this potion, if you're medium,
What
otherwise
size
it does
is
nothing.
Kels?
Yeah. You should be a medium creature. If you're medium or smaller, you become a huge creature. Otherwise, it does nothing. Your strength score becomes 25. First of all, your hit point maximum is doubled, and each of your melee attacks reach 10 feet instead of 5. Everything you're carrying also increases in size for the duration. Weapons are enlarged, clothing, things like a 1d8 longsword would be a 3d8 longsword, and everything reduces in return. So I'm going to double check the rules for a huge creature for just a quick second to get my exact size right.
Love the huge creature energy we have here.
In your giant era.
In my giant era, yeah.
A huge creature takes up a 15 by 15 foot space. It's equivalent to like a giant or a treant. It is smaller than gargantuan, which you're talking like dragon size. But you're, 1.5 times size bigger than Toots. After being kind of your small, you're just like whoosh. So I would say, you're like 15 feet tall, approximately. So all of your tools, all of your weapons
Giant
increase.
cat.
Yeah, just like massive. And so amongst the party group, you're between Yev and Calagon. So you just like pop this potion, you just like throw it down, and you immediately begin to grow. And I would say to kind of fill out this space here, it's not so much that like you wouldn't fit on the pathway here, but you are like taking up the whole thing. And if you wanted the next ledge up, if you're walking to like not the absolute height of the switchback, but kind of towards the middle, maybe just past the middle, you're talking like collarbone, right? Your clavicle, so you could just like hop up.
As a reaction, can I grab a hold of this thing's leg as it starts to grow and like encroaches upon my area so I can travel faster?
No, you had a spell right. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with reaction.
I don't even need to prepare spells. I don't know why this is taking up my space.
It's good to have security. You've been lucky or unlucky that you haven't had to do anything or that it hasn't gotten here yet. However you want to define it. Yes, so Kels, you're giant now.
Okay.
You're giant size.
Well, I pick up Calagon
Yeah.
and I use him as a flamethrower.
Yeah, Calagon's big, right? He's a large creature, so you can definitely pick him up, but it's not as easy as just like picking up like a toy or something, right? It would be like picking up like a 8 to 9-year-old. Does that make sense?
Yes, my intention is to make Calagon higher off the ground so he can like rain down.
Can I
Yeah.
set down my pack so that it's easier for you to
I would
pick
say
me up?
that doesn't actually influence the
Okay.
difficulty. That's a
Okay.
good thought.
It's
and I
very
see
heavy.
what you-
It's full of like everything.
Yeah,
so.
and Kel's strength score is 25. For
Yeah.
reference, what's Calagon's strength score?
Let me check. It's 16.
Yeah, so your strength is 25. So you're fine. I would say it's just a size thing. So if you pick him up like under the kind of like on the ribs, right, and just like hold him up like and kind of like gesture him around, you can absolutely
You can do that with
Yeah.
an 8-year-old.
Flamethrower.
Yeah. So what I'll say is, Calagon, if you don't resist being grappled, you can roll another D8 fire damage.
Okay.
And we'll say you get a cast on Kels's turn. here.
It's this one, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, so you can shoot.
Hmm?
So you can shoot.
Oh, it's inside my shoe.
Bonus points for shoot.
I rolled a 6.
I'll take it. That's a good roll. Yeah, so you're
are my
clearing
Frumkin,
from
they're
your
not
vantage point. You're able to clear a much larger area much quicker. Right, this is angles and perspective, and looking down, you're able to move and clear a much larger swath. You guys aren't feeling the absence of Makari or Toots very much. So you're all good, moving together. So that's Kel's turn, unless you have a bonus action that you want to do. Or movement? Do you move Calagon forward?
Yeah.
Cool. So I would say your movement, it's going to be another 30 feet. Your movement doesn't change. But Calagon has essentially taken the dash action and is able to also cover the area. So you guys are making really good progress up here. You're over halfway there. You're moving at a serious clip, gathering a lot of information. So after Kels, it is the ooze's turn.
Oh boy.
The ooze, now that there's this sort of giant kind of mass here, and the explosion up top, I think it turns its attention to Kels, for sure. And this doesn't affect your potion doesn't affect your AC. So this thing is going to swing. Yeah, it's going to actually throw a spell at you. It's going to throw a spell at you. So go ahead and make me a wisdom saving throw.
Does have spells?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's your first time, but like absolutely.
Where did it learn that?
Do I
Well,
Just
Old
nat-
school.
normal ability.
Okay.
Yep. Innate spellcaster having magical effects.
The ooze also is a wizard in college.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do I roll with advantage or
They have their own ethno state. Yeah.
Kels rolled with it, or Yev rolled with advantage on sort of these psionics. You have advantage on sort of movement abilities.
Okay.
So yeah, this is gonna be and Dex. This thing hits you with a wisdom saving throw.
Then that is a 15.
That is a 15, and cool. So why did I lose my place to check my abilities? You said a 15?
Yeah.
15 meets it, beats it. You feel a really just these sort of like swirling patterns appear in like your mind's eye.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's like more glittering kind of like movement patterns, shapes and colors. And they're moving in sort of that way where if you're moving a string in front of a cat, right? It's like super hypnotic.
One weakness.
I have
but-
many weaknesses on
and you're like ready, and you see that it's like moving and kind of baiting you like into the ooze. And at a certain point, you're like, wait, what? No, and just kind of like snap out of it and kind of like brush it away.
Wow, I'm so smart.
I'm so smart, and I am so good at religion. And cool. Then you see more of these kind of pseudo creatures begin to emerge. I would say they're doubling their rate at which they appear, and your flames are having a hard time keeping up with it. So that is the ooze there. Up next, you defeated the visage of your master, and this thing has not gotten another psionic impression from any of you, which I am shocked by. So it's left with these sort of low-level creatures, and they're going to start to make attacks on all of you. They are going to start to make attacks on all of you. So each of them begin to their forms grow like uneven and shift, and you see kind of like almost like they were split through with a sword, this kind of like along the y-axis, right? This sort of like wave of ooze like lurches forward at everyone in just kind of this band, right, from each of these things. And I'm gonna have you're good right now. They haven't really told you, just cleared a path.
I sure have.
Yev, you're kind of at the back. Kels, you're big enough that even though you're relatively safe, these things are gonna make swipes at you. You're in the air. Calagon, you're being held. So just Yev and Kels, go ahead and make dexterity saving throws. Now, you're going to have advantage, Yev, with your sure footing from your sort of divination on the check.
We're gonna have advantage.
No, that's just Kels with advantage. What was that
You
first
said
one?
sure footing for me.
Oh, sorry, I meant Kels.
Well, I got a 21, so can I give Yev advantage?
I would say no. You're going to be a little too distracted to notice.
Okay, well, good luck.
Did the table eat your die?
Yes!
This hold on. Technical difficulty. Go to the hold screen for a quick second. We're going to solve this.
Back to the table.
And we're back. Double check the stream. Make sure we're
making
good.
Sure.
Because our monitors are still down.
Love
Yep,
the
we're good,
technical
we're good.
difficulties.
Die has been found.
Why do you
I didn't want to throw
like
it that
a
way.
die dish thingamajig
That was a
would really
15.
help us right now.
15 plus something. You
It
said
would be
dex?
crazy if we had
16.
one of those.
Cool. So you're able to duck out of the way of these kind of almost like being swung at horizontally with like a cleaver, right? Just like pew, these things like shooting out at you. So they, many of these go out, all at the relatively same height. You're able to avoid, and just for a moment, it creates almost like a roof over you, right? Of this slime, and then they all, in just as soon, retract. Then I will say, go ahead and Yev and Kels make con saves.
At the 12.
DC is 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is an 18.
18. Okay. Some of these sort of creatures begin to like their forms like bubble and shake and begin to pop
Ew.
at odd sort of movements. And so it's some of this sludge is landing on you guys. And I see almost immediately, even though it's hitting you, and it kind of like burns and hits you with this sort of sickness. It rolls. It sort of like begins to like bead off of you with intent and return to the mass. Calagon, and for everyone else, you notice that this might be the opportune solution to start spread some flames. Just with the way everyone's going, no one needs to roll for that.
Okay.
This looks like what you were waiting for.
Okay.
However, you guys see, right, it's not leaving a lasting effect, but you do have these sort of almost like chemical burns, right? Your skin feels a little wrinkly for just a moment.
Oh,
where it
my
hits
wrinkles.
You. And
I've
it
never been
returns.
wrinkled
It
before.
returns relatively quickly without lasting effect. But you guys were close. You guys were close to some lasting damage there. From there, I keep skipping over Toots, so I'm going to do Toots and Makaria at the same time. Toots moves forward after seeing a giant Kels reaches nearly to Oberon, and Toots looks at you at a clear path. Sees you suffering, and just you catch a sympathetic glance for a moment. What do?
I look at him
Yeah.
and apologize for my past behavior by saying...
What do you say?
I say consent and sex are the favorite.
Yeah. And nothing else?
What more could
Roll
be said?
persuasion.
He went
Roll
to
straight persuasion.
sensitivity training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Found amongst the table.
What is it?
Yeah.
that
We've
I'm-
all learned today.
Persuasion.
Persuasion, gotcha.
What an important lesson to learn at SIU.
You know, honestly, if I've imparted one thing amongst my viewing audience and players, I'm proud of this
That is
moment.
it.
I've done a net good.
It is a 20.
That is a 20. Yeah, with a 20, I think after, seeing you suffer, leap out ahead, your display of cowardness, and then your moment of heroism, Toots is like taken aback for a minute, and was like, "Baby, that's just all I wanted to hear."
Wow.
Right? Because that was the central issue,
Love
right?
and
It was about
consent.
consent. It was about time
Oh,
and
we're
place.
lampshading.
And so I think you learned some
I've learned some valuable lessons.
some valuable lessons about consent. And Toots is back on Oberon,
Maybe
just
And
like
That's
that.
the end of this.
And we all no. It's gonna get a lot worse from here.
I'd love to hear that on my guest appearance on the show.
So you guys are really starting to make your way up here. It looks like in another round or so for Oberon, you'll be reaching the cave entrance. The rest of you, it's going to be about 2 rounds here to survive. So with that, we're going to toss to Makaria, who continues burning a path around you, taking out these creatures and immolating them before they have a chance to explode. Her and you, Calagon, who you're about to go, have your attention split between clearing a path and blowing these sort of like figures away with fire before they have a chance to turn into something more dangerous. So Makaria is focusing more on not making this a path full of exploding toxin. Oberon, where's your head at? Are you still?
mean Calagon?
Oh, Calagon! Jesus Christ! Are you still? We know where Oberon's head is at. When I said the word. You're spreading fire.
Yes.
Are you trying to split your attention or focus on the clearing away?
Well, I've seen a perfect opportunity to rain fire down on them.
You
So,
have.
is there anything I have to do that? Because I think you said.
I'll say this: before you could clear a path and wipe out a swarm, right?
Yeah.
It's now getting to a point where you have to decide. What I'll let you do is, if you clear a path, right, you can. I'll make you roll for this to see how good of a job you do.
Okay.
You will do it. It's
Okay.
just how good you do. To kind of burn and hit, right? If the figures are like coming out of the slime, you're gonna hit kind of around them,
Okay.
almost like a pseudo fuse, right? So it's gonna have a delayed effect of catching them in flame,
Okay.
right? Or you can directly go for creatures and try to eliminate these figures before they explode.
I think I'm going to try the first one. What do I
Okay,
have to do?
so go ahead and roll me. We're going to do a d20 plus proficiency
Okay,
to
plus
determine how effective you can do this.
Proficiency.
So your proficiency bonus, just your flat proficiency bonus at
Yeah.
the top of your character sheet.
+2. Okay.
Plus 2. So d20 plus 2.
Can I have the
Yeah, you want the dice tray?
Yeah, I've.
Our Greater Shores beach themed dice tray.
That's a 2.
Okay. So, like
So
I
it would
said,
be a
it's
4.
nearly impossible to not succeed.
Okay.
But with a 4, you're trying to clear a path, and it takes some experimentation. Some of them go up too quickly. Some of them the ooze clears and it doesn't do anything. So you're just learning, and I'll say next round it'll be a lower DC.
Okay.
But you get a few of these that are beginning to burn. And they're not being immolated in a way that they will be destroyed, but by the time the next turn comes around, when they're getting ready to burst, they're going to spread some flame.
Okay.
But not as many as you would have liked, but you've kind of cracked it now. You know where to hit them, you know what to do. And otherwise, you're grappled with Kels, so you can't really make your way forward. On that, we're going to move to Yev.
Yes.
You have seen Kels grow giant behind you.
Yep.
Explosions, flame, picked up Calagon. You're kind of the last one who's a regular creature making your way on 2 feet up
Yeah.
here. What's Yev's take
How
on
far
that?
behind am I from everyone else?
You're only 30 feet away from Kels.
Is the
but
slime near me?
is the slime near me? I would
I think
say.
it's focused on other things.
Yeah, I would say if you roll perception.
Yeah.
Roll perception. Do you need the tray?
I just felt
After
like that
the
was
incident?
momentous, and then
That'd be a 9.
A 9. It's impossible to say. You still can't determine whether or not its attention is being taxed. Creatures are forming around you. Ooze seems to be closing at a identical, if not similar rate. So whether you're still a target, whether you're still, if you don't touch the ooze and you
Yeah.
stay in this cleared path, you might be okay.
I think I'm gonna stay in the cleared path. I have
Yeah.
the 2 various protections stacked atop me,
You do.
and I just kind of want to keep moving.
Yeah.
I don't really want to engage. I just want to leave.
Yeah. Cool.
We're not being paid to kill this thing. We're being paid to leave.
Yeah. So,
So-
you move up behind Kels, no problem. Now, I think you might have a moment here, and you can point this to Kels. Kels might just start clearing the drops instead of doing the entire path here. So that might be something you need to address. But also, right, Kels can give it. So if you want to coordinate with Kels at all, you're realizing that might be an issue. That it's not going to be as easy as following another 6-foot-high creature up here, right? They might just, when it gets shallow enough for them to climb over, they might just climb over it, right? And you would inadvertently be left behind. Yeah. So if you want to
Shout.
coordinate with Kels, now would be the time.
Hi, please don't leave me behind.
Who said that?
Your favorite.
Where are you?
And I like tug on like their ankle fur.
You mean like a child?
Yes.
Yeah, you're about child size,
Yeah,
right?
compares.
You're about a
Okay,
third of Kels' height.
I pick you up and I put you in my hood.
Yeah.
So that you,
I love it up here. I'm so cozy.
so that you can watch my back as,
Yeah, I have. You know, I can spam spells. I can. Yeah, totally.
as we go.
Cool.
Giant
The little
cat
dangerous baby.
supremacy.
So you're in my little babushka cradle.
I'm familiar.
Little dangerous Russian baby.
Yep.
I'm like a possum, you know how possums
Yes.
and little babies clean up.
So
That's me.
with this, you guys have really shortened your expedition here. I will say that for Kels, it's going to be another 2 rounds. For everyone else, you're looking at 1 more round before you reach kind of what looks to be the relative safety of a cave up there. Oberon, you see that landing. So we go back to Oberon. Toots
Hello.
is behind you. You're at kind of the last bend here, and then you need to cross just a little bit of distance to get inside this cave. And it looks like where shadow begins, this ooze ends.
Gotcha.
So you're in a cleared path for a moment, but you don't have any fire. You do have Toots behind you, which you would take damage from his aura, but it would keep you safe. You can also be, chucking out things, trying to make a path for yourself. What's kind of the move here?
Huh. How far away is Calagon from me?
How far away is Calagon? Straight, right as the crow flies, a good 60 feet.
Oh god, no, that's way too far. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's healing spells again?
I do.
You do, Juniper does. I think that's it actually.
Yeah.
You're a giant, so you could probably you're probably close by, I wanna say.
Am I close by?
Are you close by? Assume
I
you
would
are.
say Oberon is maybe 10 to 15 feet out of your reach. We'll go
Okay.
with 15 feet out of your
Okay.
reach because your melee attacks have 10 feet range.
Fair enough. Oh wait, Juniper flew near me, didn't she?
Yes,
Oh,
Juniper will be just behind you, but
Okay.
again, coming up the side of this.
Okay, I think I should ask Juniper to heal me because I'm at like a 5 HP right now.
So he calls it out whenever you have the chance.
Hey, help.
Am I still carrying Macaria?
You are carrying Macaria. No, if you check your spells and any of them need intense somatic components, you will not be able to cast those spells. So double check the spells there to see, right, if they require any physicality.
Why can't I touch Oberon? Like, why can't I put Macaria on my back?
You totally could.
Okay.
That would require really a lot of shifting in the air to go okay, now get on my shoulders, right?
Just throw her off. She's
You
not-
could also, drop her off, right? That's another option for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But it would be an extremely difficult check to go, okay, now you're just going to kind of go back there, right?
It wouldn't be too hard. Have her grab.
I'll
one.
say it'll be a DC 18 athletics check for both of you.
I see. For both of us.
For
okay.
both of you. You would both have to succeed. Yeah.
Sounds like I gotta put her down. I'm coming.
Or rather, the average would have to be 18.
Okay.
So you get that queued up, and then that's your interaction. What do you want to do with your action, your movement?
I'd like to continue scaling upwards
Okay.
because I'm near the top of the thing, aren't I?
Yeah, and are you? You look like if you do a solid dash, you could get there safely.
Okay.
I get to safely. You don't know get to safety. You don't know if you'd be getting there safely.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now there's if you want to contrive another way to do it, that might be a bit of a safer route. You can also do that.
Okay.
But dash would be your only way to clear this. This turn.
I think I'd just like to dash. Yeah.
Okay, so you dash. Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Gotcha. Okay. Dexterity is. I think I actually have an advantage on that.
Yeah.
There it is. I got a 7.
A 7. And do you still have your bless?
Yes.
I would roll that bless if I were you.
Okay.
I would throw out a d4.
Okay. Which one's 4? Oh, this one's 4. That is a 1.
Okay. Brings you up to an 8. So for total transparency, DC to move across this thing is a 12. Without it immediately reacting, right? And then you kind of land in the middle of it. So with an 8, that actually brings your failure up to a higher threshold, so it's not quite as bad.
Okay.
You go and it's like running across the surface of a swamp. Your foot bounces.
I love that actually.
And your foot falls, you get unsteady, you get nervous, you're thinking about is Toots okay, this, that, and you just want to make it there, and your foot gets stuck. You notice your footfall gets harder, you pull and your foot gets jolted behind you, and you do fall prone into the ooze.
Lovely.
Lot of contact. So immediately I need that dice tray. Oberon, we're going to hit you with some damage here. That is going to be 2 points of psionic damage. As this thing, you catch your foot, fall smack into it, and it's just like over the side of your body, and it's just leaching into you, right? It's at this stage with this much physical contact, right? It's less like getting struck with an axe and more like a pithing needle.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to try as hard, so there's considerably less damage.
Okay.
But you feel its presence pretty intensely.
Yeah. It does not taste. What does it taste like? Actually?
What does it taste like?
also
If
tastes
any of
like
it gets
banana.
in your mouth,
Oh.
I mean, I did hit it with the banana boomerang.
it tastes like kind of
Banana ring.
sludgy, spongy rot. You know when that same smell as you all encountered when you got that pungent rot of decay, you can feel it in your eyes and your nostrils, like the physical particles.
Gross.
It tastes something like that, and also waxy. Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. And look, you want me to make you make a con save? I'll make you make a con save.
Do I want a con save?
No, but you asked.
No, I think I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
cool.
Yeah.
So you don't get much of a whiff of it.
Okay.
Much beyond a whiff of it.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Open your mouth.
I don't think I should.
You
need
are,
to
however,
you need to fully
maybe
experience this.
5 feet away from the edge.
I
Right?
hate it.
You're
I hate
just
that.
like you landed. You were like fucking right there, man. It's brutal. So we go from Oberon to Juniper. Toots is next. Toots continues up, takes the full dash action with the fling. Toots was behind you. You got maybe 10 feet between you and Toots. This aura does not quite manage.
Right.
And actually, the ooze, as it like recoils, almost like crater-like from the heat, it kind of coalesces closer to you. You're not on purpose, and Toots is going to cover you in a sec, but you are in dire circumstances.
Love that.
As Toots runs up, trying to reach out a hand to help you. Then we go to Juniper.
So I'm hoping to sit Macaria down somewhere safe away from the group.
I'd say you can drop her in the same relative position as Oberon began his turn in.
Okay.
So if you drop her there, she's got it, okay, drops down, she just whoosh, starts like burning away around there, looks up towards you, sees Toots, and up here, right, there's considerably fewer of the figures, and she's just taking care of them. So nothing develops too far.
And then I want to beeline straight to Oberon.
Yeah.
With hopes of picking him up and then taking him to safety and then healing him.
So I'll say this: if you take a dash action, you take a dash action, you can get to Oberon, and then you will not have an action available to grapple and pick him up or heal him. Now you can get right on top of him, but that's it. You can also move half that distance and throw out a spell.
I don't have any spells that would help, so I'm going to
Take the full
dash.
movement. Okay. And I don't know what potions you have. I forgot my healing potion distribution to you all. If you have anything, any object interaction, anything on you, potion or something that I gave you that you'd like to give him that could be helpful.
I don't have my list. So I don't know
Okay.
what to do.
Okay. I know I gave you also the Ring of Acid Resistance. That could be a useful item to drop to Oberon.
Oh, the goop's acid base? Because I have acid skills.
I would say it has acid attacks. I think you all could conclude that
Okay.
with the way they hurt Yev and Kels.
I'm not hurt. I mean, I'm invincible.
Well, it bounced off us, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's still brief, right? No lasting effects, but the way it hurt you, it was the idea of an acid sort of.
Everything hurts me.
I would argue that I have experience with a lot of cooking with oil. And like a lot of substances
That's
have been
resistant.
splatter damage. Yeah, I'm
impervious.
I have like chef's
Very
fingers
mild
and
chemical burn.
body.
Yeah.
I'm currently face first in acid. Can someone please help
Yes,
me?
so my plan is to, well, instead of dashing all the way there,
Okay.
do half a dash and throw my potion to Oberon.
Okay, what potion do you have?
The one you just said, right?
That is your ring. That is your
Oh.
object you
Oh,
were given.
that's on
So
me.
you can take your full dash and you can take your full dash and just drop that to him,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
even like put it on his finger. Right, that's an object interaction that I would count.
I would do
Yeah.
the latter.
Cool.
So I'm gonna
So,
dash, and
yeah,
then
no, you feel whatever kind of burning. You've been bludgeoned and hit with psionic damage.
Yeah.
But whatever mild burn immediately vanishes
Wow.
with your resistance.
Thanks.
You feel like you're in a much better state.
I'm still in pain, but at least
Still
I'm
good.
functional.
Yeah.
Do
Cool.
I notice this happening?
I'll say, actually, you're next in the initiative order,
Okay,
which is
cool.
perfect. You keep chiming in at the exact right moment. Throw me a perception, and
Okay.
we'll call it like DC 8, because like pretty much but it's hard to gauge the specifics.
That isn't exactly an 8.
Okay, yeah. You see Oberon. You don't like quite see him from where you are. Right, it's up a little bit and back, but you hear him like smack into it when he leapt and was
With, like,
running.
Big cat ears.
Yeah, no, they're so big. They're huge. And the way Toots and Juniper just like dashed for him, you're like, oh shit, like something happened.
Okay, noticing that Oberon has been afflicted with ooze,
I sure have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out a Cure Wounds spell, which is you regain 2d8 plus 6 because it's a second.
I'm gonna get you here. Cure Wounds is on touch.
No! Well,
Do you have Healing Word?
I am gigantic. Can I not just like lean backwards and go smack?
You have a range of 10 feet. If you took your movement, you would be one. If he's up here, right? Macaria was dropped here. You're about to move onto the level right, so it'll take you 2 moves to get up there. So if you take your move, you would then be able to touch Macaria, but he would be pretty well out of range here.
Does anyone want to grab Oberon and like toss him down so that I can carry him as well?
So that's a really good, and you call that out to
Toss
anyone.
me Oberon.
Toss me the
Give
goat.
me the goat.
Boy.
Roll an insight check. Roll an insight check.
It's 4.
For a toss goat.
Yeah, the only way this could work is if someone threw Oberon to you. Yeah.
Throw me the goat.
I would, but I'm being carried by you right now.
Okay.
I'm also being carried by you right now.
Throw me the goat.
I'm gonna say Calagon and Yev throw me insight checks.
Oh, hold on.
Nat 20 plus 1.
Okay. And Cal.
I'm sorry. I need to look at my
You're good.
What was it again? Insight.
Insight, just in case
Okay,
you get
plus-
a nat 20 as well.
That's 16 plus 4,
Okay.
which is
A modified 20.
Modified
So
20.
with the nat 20, Yev, the piece of information, sometimes a nat 20 is just like, yeah, you know the thing. the piece of information I was hoping that you would like kind of like glom onto is you exclaimed just like you did a moment ago, just toss us.
Did I just say that? I don't think I did.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
absolutely. Whether it's
I don't really
like,
want to be tossed.
whether
I
you're
can't heal.
consenting or committing to it, you see the problem and you're like, oh my god.
I can't heal.
No, absolutely. And I think fully against your better judgment, you just exclaim, oh my god, you can just toss us. For good or for ill.
Okay.
But you
That
make
doesn't feel
the
like a winning
realization.
20. That does not feel like a winning
You
20.
got the insight check, and that gave that information to the party.
Okay.
Okay, well, Calagon is my flamethrower. You can't heal. Does this spell count as, like, conductivity? Like, can I, like, zap it through her and we
No.
fly
Like
a
a conduit.
chain?
But your physical abilities have changed, right? Your strength score is at 25, which means you get a plus 4. I need to double check that. If you were to make a jump, a leap, a standing jump,
As this is going on, can I do a free action?
what for?
To ask my god, fucking help us?
I'll say wait until your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
How close to dying are you?
I'm at 3, so pretty dang close.
But that's 3 until
Alright.
death saving throws.
Yes.
That's and there are several people about to be there. The ooze is going to get a turn, but then everyone is going to be right there.
Okay. Don't die. We're gonna keep
I
going.
can't promise that.
Do you want to just do a dash action?
Yeah.
Okay. So you dash, you get, but, right, because you don't need to run the full length of this thing. When it's a short step, you just take a short step. So you get all the way up to moving with efficiency here after, knowing the path forward, right, through your religion check. You get all the way to Macaria this turn. So you're fucking crushing it.
Sorry, Oberon.
So
I get it.
that's Kels, and then we go to the ooze.
Hate that.
The ooze is going to. You are prone, so it's going to get advantage on its chance to hit.
Hate that.
It gets +3 to hit. What is your AC?
11.
11. Oops, I have the wrong creature up. It gets +7 to hit.
I hate my life.
You said 18? Or that's not right.
Sure, 18.
12?
For my AC?
Yeah.
It's 11. Yeah.
11. Okay. So that is a 13 and a 6 on die.
Hate my
So it is going to strike you with.
Oops.
Now you said you have 3?
I do have 3 hit points left.
Okay. So that is 3 points of bludgeoning damage and I believe 6 points of psychic damage. Oops.
Damn it, Oberon. What did I just say?
So
Not done yet.
this thing, almost like a pillar, like shoots forward and then back down and just strikes you in the back, right, pushing you into the ground, into the rock, and it begins to kind of like almost cocoon you, right, like just like envelop you, and as it does, the impact makes you black out. And as you begin to black out, you're just racked with those visions, those same visions,
Oh,
those
God damn
horrible
it.
visions. And the last thing you see as your gaze begins to dissipate, 2 feet begin to materialize, sandaled presumably.
Hot.
Yeah. Of your mentor?
Hot?
Okay, cool. Just checking. Yeah. So you land on death saving throws, and because
Love it.
of the sort of like two-pronged attack, I'm gonna make you take a single failure.
Love that.
So
Okay.
reminder for everyone how death saving throws work: when somebody gets brought down to 0, they do not immediately die. They go to death saving throws. 3 failures mean you die, player death. 3 successes mean you stabilize. Any healing stabilizes, and your successes and failures last until your next long rest. When it comes to your turn, the only action you take is rolling a d20. 9 or lower is a failure, or 10 or lower and 11 or higher. A nat 20 and a nat 1 count as 2.
Yep.
And also any attacks immediately count as death saving throws. The visage of Oberon's mentor appears as you're kind of falling into this miasma of loneliness and failure. As your party rallies to your aid, as they begin to arrive behind you, and you just ever faintly feel the impression of warmth from Toots trying to approach from behind you to rescue you, and goes black.
Yes.
So Oberon is down.
Sure am.
From
down.
there, God, I keep fucking up the turn order. I'm just gonna, Toots and Macarius share initiative. I've been doing that this whole time. Toots actually had an 18 and would have gone before you, but I haven't been doing that correctly this entire time, so I'm just gonna let this ride.
Fair enough.
So Toots and Macarius share initiative. Macaria with flames is kind of Kels as you're moving, blasting like holes for you for a footfall. To kind of like cover you, and also moving slightly forward, reaches nearly you, and Toots with kind of this aura of fire. I'm gonna roll a wisdom check.
Gotcha.
Because the aura will do damage to you.
Yes, it will.
Okay, which will give you a failure.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would immediately remove the imminent threat. So I'm gonna see how well Toots can formulate a plan to keep you safe, or if Toots just drops it.
I'm not confident.
So that's a 7.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Toots is being more brash. Okay,
That's about
than
right, yeah.
careful. So instead of like getting close, dropping it, trying to get you out of there with his considerable strength, he fucking flips and stomp goes, and it's clearing, and it's like burning away the equivalency of like being in a fucking Indiana Jones film, like burning away the cobwebs, just like whoosh, like this stuff goes and is gone, and you take 2 points of fire damage, which is a second failure.
Lovely. Okay.
However, the aura drops. Toots picks up your lifeless body,
Hell yeah.
your unconscious body, and moves you out of danger.
Thanks.
You are now clear.
Now you can go roll your saving throw.
Your saving throw will be on your turn. We have
Right.
almost everyone before that. It's pretty safe that you're going to have healing first.
No one
You
heals.
are going to carry these death saving throws with you, however, and I'm just going to double check that Toots doesn't have anything. Toots hits and grabs, and makes things hot. Yeah,
Very.
I know.
The three things they're good for.
I like making barbarians.
Where is my
brawlers
pirate
and
elf?
grapplers. What's that?
Nothing.
Your parrot?
My pirate MILF?
Your pirate MILF. Oh, she's.
She's long.
Roll
gone,
me
dude.
a luck check. And I'll narrate what she's up to. I'll let you know.
Will she join us in our time of need?
Highly unlikely.
Deus Ex
Highly
Pirate
But
Milk.
not impossible.
If you roll me 3 nat 20s in a row, she will come from the sky on an airship and rescue all of you.
So there's a chance.
4.
Yeah, so she's back on her ship.
No!
She, completed the trade, stayed the night, definitely looked for you when she woke. She's like, oh, where's that fucking cat? There's like a big cat. Like, you got a rat problem? Like, what's the fucking deal? And Cogstein was like, oh, send her on a mission. She'll be back. But like, come back for the hospitality. And the pirate MILF is like, yeah, totally. And boards the ship with the crew and sets off back to trade goods for the Alarian Empire. Definitely gets it back into her cabin, and the couple ship cats all hang out, and she looks at them and she's like, ain't the same. Ain't the
And a
same.
rabbit. That was cool.
And we go back to this blistering
Back to
hellscape.
Oberon dying.
Or Oberon. This is the second time we've almost died.
It is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
You're really good at it.
I know.
Well, how it started was like, you were like, oh, I'm first in the initiative order, and then now it's...
No, entirely.
Yeah.
This is why I never
So now these, for anyone at home, and we're far enough along, these are zombie plague spreaders reskinned. So, and with a sort of reduced challenge rating here. Zombie plague spreaders, the kind of like pseudo sludge guys, they kind of make their swings at folks. None of them really, none of them really hit. Kels, even though your AC isn't up there, like they can't really do anything to you. And so they begin to throw out their attacks. Now, Kels, although you have advantage on dex, you are now too large to avoid these attacks, is the thing. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to kind of hit you with this. Go ahead and since it's an automatic fail in the dex check, roll me a con save.
This is an 18.
An 18. You succeed. You feel more of that kind of like burning poison around your ankles, but you make it through all right.
Ouchie.
And then they begin to pop. Now, Calagon, it's only a few of them that have been lit. So they begin to burst, and kind of this flaming sludge goes around. And you know, I'm gonna level with you, Calagon. You are like at a lower level. Kels, being where you are, and Yev being on Kels' back, the two of you go ahead and make and throw me another con save.
$12 plus. Where'd it go?
These are going to be 13s.
13!
I got a 14.
Lovely.
I swear to God, I set up this encounter to really fuck you up.
You're really fucking up one of us?
That's
Yeah.
what Harrison said
I'm used
after
to
the
it.
pirate one shot was over.
No, you guys are rolling good. I do feel like I'm pushing you, so I'm satisfied. So these things are popping, fire and poison damage are
Popping
going
like
around
a pimple,
and
dude.
clearing points, but you guys are making it with such haste now that this is beginning to be less of an issue. Cool. So next we go to Oberon's mentor, who appears. Toots ran past carrying Oberon before it was fully formed, and it kind of like swung and turned. This thing now is going to look at the two of you. Toots is trying to keep you safe to the best of its ability, but it kind of like sludges forward and lurches out with some attacks that it's going to make on Toots, who has an AC of 13 and is raging, which gives bonus on strength, resistance to these attacks. So this is going to be 2 attacks that need to be to 13. Your mentor has a +2 to attack, so it needs an 11 or higher. One of these was an 18, one of these was a 2.
Okay.
So it kind of like lurches and swipes out and only makes contact with one and hits Toots. So a couple things are going to happen.
Hello.
There's a big raking wound that any of you who are within line of sight, right, can see just like across Toots' back. And that wound becomes mixed with sort of like the ooze itself, right? You see what look like almost like maggots, right, that spill off of this thing, made of this sludge, this ooze. And they immediately burrow inside of Toots into the wounds. So those worms begin to burrow. And Toots takes... That's going to be 1 point of piercing damage and 5 points of necrotic. And this gets through Toots' aura of flame as well. Yeah, because it's not immediately fire. It's just it's damaging heat. So Toots drops from hit point 32 down to 24.
That felt like.
Yeah, so no, big damage on Toots, sustaining a pretty serious injury here. Cool. So that is going to go to Calagon and Yev. Calagon, you're being held by Kels. You see all of this happen. You're burning away. It looks like Echevarria can handle herself. She's getting there. You need to get up there as well. You're being carried by Kels, though. You can ask to be dropped and move ahead as you see this damage go through, or you can just take the free ride.
I'll take the free ride.
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to roll for that?
No, there's nothing you need to roll. You just stay grappled,
Okay.
technically. You spread and toss your flame around.
Yeah, the thing I did last time, do I just roll again?
Yeah, I'll
You
say
said
I'll lower the
would be
DC. The
lower.
DC is going to be 10.
What
for
is that, my modifier for this again?
So you're just making an attack roll.
Okay.
So DC is realistically its armor
I
class.
rolled a 13,
Okay.
and my armor class is 13.
Or your chance to hit. Your chance
Oh.
to hit, yeah.
My chance to hit, where would I...
It would be your spell casting modifier, so it'd be on your spell page.
Oh, it would be on my spell page. Okay,
Yeah, at the top of the spell page.
DC 12,
Okay.
and I rolled a 13.
Not the
Oh.
DC, the number,
wait,
the
wait,
plus number next to the DC.
Oh, okay,
If it's not there, it should be, what spell casting is Druid again? Druids are...
Druid craft, it says transmutation.
But I'm just trying to look what's the spell casting ability for Druids? What's your highest ability?
My highest ability, is that under attributes?
Yeah.
My highest ability is strength.
Okay.
16.
So it's your wisdom. What's your wisdom modifier
My
plus your
wisdom
proficiency?
modifier is +4.
And your proficiency is
no.
+2?
My wisdom is +2.
And your proficiency is 2?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yes, it's also
Okay.
+2.
So it's a +4 to
Okay.
hit on top of whatever you rolled. And what did you
Okay.
roll?
A 13.
13. Okay, so 17. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Totally, absolutely crush it. You're way more focused on setting these guys up like fuses, and you go all around. When these things burst after you guys are safe, it's gonna be just a fucking firestorm out here. So Calagon, you're crushing it.
Okay, thank you.
Next we go to Yev, and Yev, throw me a perception check.
That would be a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, it's 6 plus 3.
Even with a 9, Yev, you see them cresting over the descent. These roiling balls of flesh begin to come and tear down like a fucking marble rolling down a hill towards you.
Great!
Now, last turn, did you take an action?
No, I think I was just
Picked
hanging
up?
out, yeah.
We can say you prepared a spell
I don't
if
even
you
need
want
to prepare, it says. And you had me prepare even regardless prior.
Yeah,
Yeah, so my computer is frozen, but for my scorching ray that I have prepared,
yeah.
I will do my best to figure it out.
So Scorching Ray
I
is 120 feet, second
Yep.
level. You
I
make
believe I roll 3.
an attack 3 rays. Each hit is 2d6. So you're
Yep.
throwing out your chance to hit. Hold on, let me give you the armor class. This thing's the first one that comes around is a AC of 12.
Okay.
For anyone watching at home, this is a zombie claw.
13 plus 4, 17. That's a 13.
Okay. It's 2 wins, 2 successes.
And that'll be a 15.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me 6d6.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can prepare the tray for you here.
I would appreciate that.
I'm going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 short. Enjoy.
So many die.
But you see it, you see the many eyes and limbs of the beast, and you're like, this is what I've been waiting for. Bam!
So we got a 4, a 3, so 7 plus 2 5, so 17 plus 6, so 23.
Oh my fucking
plus
God.
3, so 26.
26 damage.
Dang.
Remind me how many hit points you have, Oberon?
Like
For
total.
reference, yeah. What's your hit point max?
My hit point max is. There it is. 21.
Yeah, right?
I could have killed you anytime.
In a single shot. Yeah.
believe
No,
that.
so this is a second level spell. This is you channel infernal energy. You haven't been able to do anything about this. You've been waiting, protecting your party from what's ultimately an ambush.
Yeah.
Right? And you channel that and just like bam, 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 right? Like scorching ray fires off and just strikes 3 times into this like roving like fluid mass coming around, and you just like boom, 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 and just like necrotic limbs just fly off this thing in big jets, like motes of fire that almost look like hot slag, like firing off. And this thing begins to like burn as chunks of it fly off, and it kind of like recoils and reforms into a ball and continues its descent. So it takes a full dash action. The other one is at kind of like the top of the crest. But for total transparency, because you guys are about to leave this combat encounter, a fucking zombie, like you fucked this thing up. You took out over a quarter of its total hit points in a single burst, and this is a CR6 creature. Like, holy shit, that was amazing. And also has to contend with what will be descending flames, right? So you guys are going to cover your backs pretty significantly. So that is Yev's turn, and with that, we move back to the top of the initiative order. So Oberon.
Yes.
Oberon. No, wait a minute. Sorry, did I? No, I didn't skip over anyone. Did I? I didn't skip over anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Oberon.
Hi. I might die.
You might die.
I might die.
You might die.
I might die. Love that for me.
Now, you used your bless, correct?
Yes. Yes. I think
I'm
so.
pretty sure you used your bless.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else that can help you in this
You
situation.
know.
Can I give the bless he gave me back to him?
Can I cast Bless again? I don't know.
Yeah, if you haven't been did you cast any spells on your previous turn?
Let me see. I have 3 more level 1 spell slots.
Okay, so you've used only one, presumably?
No, I used both my second level spell slots.
Okay, gotcha. If you want to have at any point, because you did a lot of movement actions without much else, right? You tried to cast like healing and stuff. If you want to throw out a bless, I'll let you have thrown out a bless. Like, I'm all there for that.
It is
Quick bless me.
a range of 30 feet.
Yeah, if you cast at the end of your last turn, again, I let you exceed that distance because of your nat 20 on religion. So go ahead.
I'm so good at God.
You're gonna go ahead. You're gonna throw me a d20
Okay.
and a d4.
Okay.
If you get a 9 or lower, Oberon,
Mm-hmm.
you die.
I love this. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna add these 2 up. So
We
in
pray in
the
real life.
in the tray.
Okay.
Do you want to like do this in front of the camera? What's the? Also, this is your first campaign, and
I know.
it's PK. Like, it's just couldn't be. Okay, so come here. We're gonna do
Okay.
this. Someone double check the stream. We're gonna do
I'm
this
looking,
right in front
I'm
of the
looking.
camera. Does it look good? Can you see inside the tray?
No, further tilt.
Tilt
To the camera.
Tilt to the
Like that.
camera. How's that look?
Higher.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah.
Give it a second to load. Yeah, solid.
Okay.
I'm incredibly frightened.
I want you to throw these in the tray, please.
Help me go, Jesus.
Oh, I can't see them in the camera.
Yeah, you can't.
So that is a 6 and a 2.
I can't do math. What is that?
Not enough!
No.
That is an 8. Oberon.
I'm sad.
Okay, who has lightning magic and can we, like, defibrillate?
I have lightning magic.
Yes!
It's never let me.
Can I defibrillate?
That was what we were testing, and is this good? Camera position okay?
Oh man. Okay.
Um, Oberon.
Hello.
R.I.P. buddy.
In the arms of Toots Marshmallow.
I'm gonna die.
This is a bury your gaze campaign.
I was thinking that as well.
You pierce reality for just the briefest of moments. After being crushed under the weight of your own personal failings and your isolation and your belief in your suffering that this this creature produced through you. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard. I'm actually getting emotional. You glimpse reality for a moment. You awaken and you just see looking straight up at you, Toots just tears, just crying, just like confused, looking back at the ooze. You can see just like grimaces of pain across his face as it like worms its way through his body, and just like collapse to his knees with you in his arm and just begins like sobbing over you.
No.
With your absolute last breath, being racked with images of failure and isolation and loneliness. Half a dozen people running to your aid, but not getting there quite quick enough. Where does Oberon's mind go?
So right now, literally in so much bliss, having all this attention on me, so many people just running towards me,
Yeah.
being carried by literally just like a big, like Delphi, like Goliath.
Yeah.
So I just look up, tears streaming down my eyes slowly,
Toots looks back,
Yeah.
straight down at you.
and just like softly just smile, just like grab him by the, I don't know, fucking pectoral muscle, whatever that is, and just say, "That's hot."
And with that, Oberon's last breath escapes past his lips, and he goes limp in Toots' arms.
No.
Can I not heal him?
He's dead!
He's
Too late.
dead.
But still.
He's
That
gone
would have been
forever.
the death saving throws. This is death saving
Sometimes
throws is
characters
grappling with
die.
life, being unconscious. 3 failures is dead. The only way back from this is to become a lich or cast
I do love a lich.
revivification,
So
which
lich
is
me.
way beyond any of you. Oberon is capital D dead, and his spirit returns to the Feywild from this material plane.
Damn.
But we're
I told him not to die.
He's gonna get his pink loot in the afterlife.
Okay.
Reunite.
That's how you
Yes.
see your family again. You're back in the Feywild.
Shove them
You're
out of the way for the
definitely
loot.
more like ephemeral, right? You're not like a material creature anymore. Or you're fully comprised of your,
Am I literally just
energy. Yeah.
because the Feywild's like real, it's like a place.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
just like a ghost?
So, Feywild is not an immaterial plane. Feywild is another material plane that is fully aligned with chaotic good. Just like the Shadowfell and stuff are like lawful evil and stuff.
Right.
So it is more on the alignment of the Great Wheel than like air or fire or earth, right? And so if you die in the material plane, like it is you traveled through a portal and we're here, right? Like it's your Feywild body, that's why you're naturally magical, you die. But your spirit, like whatever soul innate magic that exists within you, for sure returns to the Feywild. Your material corpse remains on the material plane.
Gotcha.
So in a way, you will never be whole again. You will never, be able to properly pass on. But that being said, you are somewhat of a spirit amongst the Feywild.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you're for sure dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, not to metagame, but objectively the funniest character to die.
Yeah. No, a lot of you have been winning success saves and doing okay. I feel like it balanced out.
I mean,
I don't think so.
Characters die. Like, it's part of the game.
Am I really dead
He's
though?
been out of
Like,
free
You
little
can
man.
I'm pretty much like I'm just a Feywild
You have
ghost.
to accept that sometimes
I mean,
people die.
no, like I mean, like, am I really dead? As in, like, I'm not like dead.
You're not in
Like,
this
you can't do the
plane of
campaign. Like, if we were
Yeah.
to have another session,
Yeah.
you would have to bring a whole new character.
So I literally can't resuscitate
No.
physically.
Oh my
No.
god,
twin
only
brother,
this
Oberon.
fatal.
Yeah.
It would be
No,
like,
no,
like,
can I
conceivably.
dead
I
myself?
think the only way forward is as each of us try to give him mouth to mouth. I think that's
Oh my god, True Love's kiss! True Love's kiss! Stop!
What?
Dead
So, you
Sometimes
all
people die.
kind of clearing the end of this encounter. The rest of you, there is this image of Oberon's mentor dropping almost like writhing maggot-like pieces of ooze as it is split from the central body and approaches the kneeling back of Toots. So we can move out. We'll jump. We'll stay in initiative order here until we're fully clear. Toots, overcome with grief, passing turn. The ooze itself begins to create visages, right? Time dilates, they begin to burst. Giant shambling zombie clots move down towards you. And the rest of the party catches up with Toots and is trying to burn this thing away. Kels, Cal, and Yev, I'll let you share initiative here. As Kels takes a step forward towards this scene, you see, the antagonist of this moment. You see Toots, and you move forward. What would the three of you like to do here?
So you're on my back here at the front.
Yeah.
I have a sickle and an increase in attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does physical damage do anything against this thing?
Yeah, I mean, if you sliced it in half, you absolutely could.
Okay, so...
You just have to roll chance to hit.
Oh my god, wait, I have a bonus action called Spiritual Weapon?
Mm-hmm.
When did this get here? Okay.
I don't know.
It was probably there the whole time.
Spiritual weapon, bard, spiritual focus, feature at 3. It's for clerics. Bonus action, you create it. Melee, force damage equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier on hit. Now that would be increased range, and that would be 3d8 plus your spellcasting modifier
Okay, I guess.
on hit. And this thing has an AC of 13.
I guess I'll do that.
Cool. So you bonus action. What does Kels' spiritual weapon look like?
Like a giant kitty cat paw, fluffy, just like descending with soft little toe beans, and then at the last second, just a bunch of little claws coming out.
Yeah. Is it like a flail, essentially?
It's like a smacking a bug.
Oh, more like a
Trident
post, like
anything?
a fucking wooden board.
Yes.
No,
like-
it's just my little paw going, but like 1,000 times
so it's
larger.
stretched. So you swipe and it kind of like does like a spectral image almost. Cool. Yeah. So roll your chance to hit plus your spellcasting modifier.
What is this chance to hit? What would that be?
D20.
Okay.
+4.
Or your damage would be a spellcasting modifier. So it's going to be your strength plus proficiency plus whatever you land on the d20. Did you get up above 13?
It's a 13.
It's a 13 exactly. What was it on the die?
That was a 12, and then my proficiency is 1.
Yeah.
Strength is
You
0.
see Oberon go down.
I sure
You
do.
see Toots get raked across the back, and something in your little kitty cat heart breaks. And although you've never done it before, you yowl and screech, and you just swipe your paw out. You know, like cats, they just kind of like at something, and a spectral echo of it lurches forward and slams down on this creature and crushes it and devastates it. And where your kind of spectral force lands, I don't even need to make you roll damage. I know this thing's hit points here. A huge path gets cleared, and you're able to clear this encounter as more kind of ooze-like beings begin to burst, and there's kind of this burning pathway behind you all. You all get to the safety, the relative safety of being inside the cave and past this obstacle.
Okay, so we're done with the combat, right?
You're done with the
Okay.
combat. You do see Toots writhing in pain carrying Oberon. If anybody has insight or any sort of healing or anything, now would be the time. The next pressing issue as you move inside this cave is the damage Toots seems to be sustaining from these worms that have penetrated the wounds.
You.
I wish I could, but I only have a nature-y spell, so...
I have no healing, but can I ask my god to like I know he's dead, but can I still ask?
Mm-hmm. Ask what?
Please, not again. Anything?
What'd you
That's
get?
a 12 plus religion, so 13.
You get the fucking patron equivalent of like an exasperated sigh and like a yeah. I'll say if anybody has any healing or anything.
I do.
Yeah, what do you have?
I have healing touch.
Cool. If you throw that, how many charges do you have? Is it a first level?
Yes.
Okay.
I have cure wounds. Just kidding. I don't have healing touch.
Cure wounds. Right. Cure wounds. If you throw a cure wounds at Toots, I'll say give me your D8 plus your spellcasting modifier, and pop a first level spell.
So 2
Yeah.
plus 2, so that's 4.
So 4. The wounds don't look sufficiently cured, but you do see as healing takes place, the kind of ooze kind of like sludge out from it. And it looks like whatever embedded itself in Toots is likely clear. So it's just kind of these open wounds. Now you can pop another one, but that
I'm
did bring
almost out of spell slots. So.
that did bring Toots back up to a 28.
No one else get fucked up because I have my magic is running low.
You're looking around, surveying the space around you. You see a long tunnel into the mountain itself, lit with kind of plain sconces on either side. And the two of the party rests for a moment, contemplating your situation.
I rolled a decay.
Toots sobbing softly, Macaria looking just like fucking absolutely shell-shocked, but with fury, still like throwing out fire from the cave's mouth. Yeah. Where's everyone at? What's everyone doing? What's everyone thinking?
Depressed.
Yeah.
I'm really sad because my friend is dead.
Yeah.
Same.
Aren't we like not that far away from Wizard College?
Do you want us to donate your body to science?
No, I wanted you to revive me.
If nothing else, do you want us to donate your body to science?
I think, Yev, you might be the first one to consider this, but you think of that contract.
Oh my god, the
And
life
you don't-
insurance policy!
you don't
He's dead, but
remember-
we're rich!
Yeah, you don't remember the specific terms. You also don't remember how specific the terms were if all of you had to agree
You would want us to live well.
to be part and
I
parcel
would
to
not.
that experiment to uphold the deal. Your fate feels even more uncertain. It might be a boon, it might be a bust to go there.
Well,
It's hard to say.
let's continue.
We're in
Guess
a
that's all we
cave.
can do.
Where are we gonna go?
It just continues on ominously. You hear the occasional kind of if anyone wants to throw me a perception,
Yeah,
you can hear some noises from down.
19 plus, I think, 3.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
I had a
Plus
7.
22.
22. Yev, these are
I rolled
mechanical,
a 5.
industrial noises.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Your understanding of this region puts that at odds with
Yeah.
what you know. It's a considerably long distance, maybe several hundred feet through this sort of twisting, but it looks well lit.
So, some fucking corporation in line with the school that has a warehouse here, and they made this sentient slime, I'm guessing.
Roll insight on that if you want.
That's another 19.
Yeah.
Plus 1, so dirty 20.
30-20.
There might be a connection, there might not be. You feel very strongly that there is, but then you remember they sent a research team from the college to observe this area.
So, evil corporation.
It's entirely
Classic
possible.
corporation.
And I think, you share this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you all come from kind of the same society here. Kind of a steampunk level, kind of magical technology, maybe kind of getting into the diesel punk era. So you have some frame of reference for all of this, as this understanding is being shared amongst the group. Let's say Toots and Makaria are confused, and Makaria opens a line of questioning about these being machines of war and industry, and understanding that means the grab of land, resources, deforestation, etc. And Toots remains fairly silent, kind of crumpled over the body of Oberon for the time being. The rest of you, as you're kind of having these conversations, do you stay or do you probe deeper?
Is it in our contract to probe deeper? Do we have to do that?
It's in your contract to get out safe, and there sure as hell is no way to get out safe the other direction.
Okay, so let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Am I still large?
I'll say that it's kind of an at-will that you can
Okay.
dissipate it as you enter into
Am
the
I
cave.
fitting inside of the cage?
Yeah, you're back
Cave?
to your normal
Okay.
size. So you all continue through these winding tunnels, several hundred feet, and you guys, the sounds grow larger, these kind of repetitious mechanical sounds. You hear many footfalls and kind of organic noises. And you all step out from the entrance into this sort of overlook dug into the mountain. Beneath you there are, it seems to go on with like unlimited vastness of this big just pit of creatures, tending to large machines and vats, and you see cages of these aborigines beasts, distorted and horrific, and the creatures that you see milling about tending to these things are 3 Kren, the same four-armed insectile folk as you met with Vondon in the Solcardian College. And you, from where you all are, this entrance, you see this big kind of ledge that wraps around, and this sort of metal scaffolding. and I'll say, yeah, with your previous roll, we can let this roll that to have something like this, they would need pretty advanced mechanical production, right? These are not like bespoke pieces of metal built into walkways, right? It requires either a powerful artificer or industry at a scale at which it can have mechanical reproduction of these elements. So you see kind of off these like twisting walkways and all of these 3 kren beneath you as you all carry on down here. And at this point, I'm going to ask the group to make a stealth roll. We're going to do a group stealth roll here.
Stealth modifier. Oh, it's only 1.
So the average that we're looking for, it's super loud in here. We're looking for an 11.
I rolled a nat 1.
And I got an 8.
Plus 1 is 2.
8.
LOL.
A 6.
What is that? What?
Stealth.
I'm dead,
Is
dude,
that-
bro. Like,
Is that?
It has its own thing further down.
Oh my god, I can't read.
You have a plus 3.
Oh, I got an 18.
to 18. So Kels, because I also rolled a 2 and a 3 for Toots and...
Oh my god.
we are fucked.
We are the noisiest creatures on Earth.
Fucked. I rolled a nat 1.
So...
I am black, and
your party
also I'm a
begins
kitty.
to you walk across this walkway. It under the weight of this collective party, it creaks, it groans, and after just Kels, right, you go out in the front. You're bounding, you're stealthy, you're agile. Calagon, your foot goes clear through, and you fall up. Your leg is dangling, and
No.
the scaffolding begins to crack and break.
Am I gonna fall to my...
You are gonna fall. I'm gonna roll your bludgeoning damage in a moment.
Fuck. So I
Kels,
already
you're
have-
fine. You dart ahead and are able to move about the scaffolding as you see fit. Everyone else, as you fall, Calagon, I'm gonna throw at you 2d10
Okay.
of falling damage.
I killed your character, Toby. I'm sorry.
That's gonna be 9 points of damage of bludgeoning as you fall.
I was already at 22 because I took 2 points of fire damage.
Yes. So subtract 9 from that.
So
You're gonna be at what, 11
I
or
think
13
13,
rather. 13.
yeah.
I did that backwards.
13.
So you
okay.
fall through and crash into the ground, and
Oh.
immediately the 3 kren on the ground there all turn and don't make any noise, right? But you all feel a psionic wave as the attention of this space, like static electricity, turns towards you. The rest of the party, you're seen. You've been made. You're at the top of the scaffolding. Now, there's other ways forward, but they see you. They have no way of immediately reaching you, but there are creatures down there that look like they could make their way up to you if provoked. Kels, you're in complete safety. They have not spotted you. You're further out along the scaffolding.
Okay, well, my party is fucked up now.
Yes.
Okay, great.
I think you should get big and eat their bugs. Fancy bugs.
The spell thing ended. The
Mhm.
potion is gone now.
Well, no, it was 24 hours. You just have the ability to shrink or... No?
Single use, and you have the ability to dissipate it at will. Entire party. No time to consult. I need everybody's decisions right now. What do
So
we do?
they're just looking at us? Do they look like they're going to go aggro?
You would be surprised if they didn't, but you can't really read their body language.
Okay.
They are all looking at you, though.
I'm gonna just go, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Roll me a charisma save with
Okay.
disadvantage.
I've got to check to see what my charisma...
Cool.
Oh, I was also going to shout something. So I'm
Oh,
gonna wait
that's
for
a
that to
minus
process.
1. Okay.
Kels, what do you do?
They can't
That's
see me.
This is a 14. I'm gonna roll again.
I'm going to lay low and see what happens before I do anything.
Matt,
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
You have 14.
I had
actually.
disadvantage.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. Oh,
Yep.
And then
never mind.
2 minus
Juniper,
1
what
on
are
my
you doing?
charisma. So I got a fucking 1.
Can I read mine?
I mean,
Like
yeah.
the other guy?
Dead.
You have the briefest
13
instant to make a
HP
decision,
left.
and in that moment you assume yes, they can.
They can read mine. It's okay.
They are latently, able to detect
I'm
thoughts.
using thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
And I say, we come in peace.
Cool.
I jump down where Cal is.
Why?
I just took 9
Give me
bludgeoning
an
damage from
athletics
that.
save to
Okay.
see if you take any damage getting down there.
My
Oh no,
whole-
you have boots of flying. You literally, you just fly
Okay.
down there.
Because I'm
Yeah.
using my
I'm,
like
like,
magic
laying down.
loud voice, I'm trying to overpower, like verbally, like
Very
overpower the one of hi guys.
Throw
I'm trying to shout.
me a performance check with
I
disadvantage.
failed like
Disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Hi guys.
The first
You're-
one's a 9,
Yeah.
and the second one's a 10. So it's a 9 performance plus +2, so that's an 11.
You know, I don't want to spoil anything, but these creatures have a particularly high wisdom save for the level they are. So
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a wisdom save. They rolled a 3 on die. That does not save them.
So they hear we
all
come in
of
peace.
the entire. I mean, it is like the orcs of fucking Mordor down there. It just goes.
Yeah.
It just goes, and they all look at you, Yev.
Yeah. I said we come in peace. We're peaceful.
As you carry a dead goat, man.
Well,
That
Toots
guy
is
did.
carrying
Yeah,
it.
I am not touching the dead goat
What
man.
happened to him?
Yeah, Toots and Makaria follow suit, and
This is bad.
We're gonna die because of bug people.
an alarm essentially starts blaring.
No.
Oh boy.
An alarm goes off, and you begin to see these 3 Kren. They chitter and look at each other, and almost like a hive mind, like boom, and they flood out. They flood away from you guys.
Oh, good.
And
Uh-oh.
you see these sort of these just absolute monstrosities. Now that you're getting a better look, you see moving around this space, fleeing from machines. You see like severed crawling hands. You see these kind of like floating death heads. These like kind of like zombified faces with a single great eye. These abjurations. And these undead that have been tending to these machines with the 3 Kren just all flood out, and these beasts, abjurations, like these it's like horrific, like I'm talking like first edition creatures, right? Like monstrous, like bug tentacled creatures with like crab claws and many limbed, some of which that don't serve immediate purposes. They look like failed experiments or biological experiments. You see like great like apes with flesh, rended from their head and exposed bone. They just, and many armed and hook clawed, and just all of these absolute abjuration monstrosities. They are either in cages or in vats, and
but
you
they're contained.
you see the cages begin to open.
Nope.
And the vats begin to drain.
Maybe they're friendly.
Yeah, they seem
Well,
friendly.
they've just been experimented on.
Well, we're setting them free.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're gonna be grateful. that we-
Exactly. We're their saviors.
I mean, these are like the creatures the size of sheds to small houses that are contained within this space.
Man.
Can I roll
yeah.
I done fucked up
perception on
for us.
whether or not these things can be communicated with?
Yeah. Roll insight. Give me an insight roll.
Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. That's.
I think I
You
get
reach
rolls.
out the best you can, and do you
I don't
remember-
reach out. I just want to like
see
try
if
to
they can.
do it. Yeah.
Do you remember the words of your patron that I gave you?
To keep going and don't be like what it was like. Things are not what they seem, or
Mhm.
something.
Oh,
He
illusions.
keeps going in a straight line.
Keep an eye out for illusions or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Distractions. You try to communicate with these things. They are not material animals, they're abjurations. So it would be extremely difficult, but possible. However, those words ring in your ears.
Okay. Who's closest to me?
Those 2 are down.
I'm up here.
Everyone else is up but
Toots.
distant from you.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
except
you slunk
for
out of
Calagon and Juniper.
We still have 2
Yeah.
rope.
You do.
rope.
Wait, Juniper can just bring Calagon back up.
Yeah.
Correct.
Can you do that?
What
Yeah,
is
that's the
your
plan.
what is your health at Calagon?
I have 13
Okay.
HP right now.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
If that's the plan, as you have moments, you have heartbeats as these creatures are awakened and released. Juniper, if you grab Calagon, your movement is reduced, right? You can't dash out of here, but you can pick Calagon up, and if everybody's gonna split, and you're not trying for stealth, you can all just take off across those rafters to wherever you can
Are
to
we
escape this.
Still completing our mission if we run right now.
The
Your
winner-
mission is to make it back
Okay.
at this point.
Well, we'll fucking.
I don't think our mission should be to make it back. I think we've
Yeah.
seen something that we shouldn't have seen, and I
Yeah.
think that we will be murdered.
Entirely possible, and I
Yeah.
think within the scope of time we have now, you're not able to push that thought any further.
Okay, everyone go! Go, go, go!
And so, Juniper, if you grab Calagon and you guys all just go, here's where your clutch nat 20 early comes in. Everybody give me an athletics check, including you. Actually, Calagon,
I don't need that, right? Because she's picking me
she's
up.
carrying you. If you want to make your own way, throw it, and
Okay.
everybody can throw it with
Well, I'm gonna
advantage.
try
Not
to
you,
see
you're dead.
My athletics.
Still walking.
My athletics is +5. I'm rolling.
19.
Okay, I rolled a 10. So 5 plus 5 is 10. So
Dirty 20.
30-20. I'll say Mikaria got a nat 20, and Toots got a 9, presumably carrying the body of Oberon.
Mhm.
I got a 21.
I rolled a 5 plus my 5, so that's 10.
Okay, and
Oh, I got a 4.
4. Okay, so if the two of you continue flying, it's tough, and you keep looking for moments. You're going as fast as you can, carrying someone so heavy.
Well, I like to run with my
Like to
10.
run, and you're looking, right, you're carrying a giant dragonborn, right? Large creature.
I'm 7 feet
And so
tall.
you're looking for a place to drop
Just like
Calagon off as you're running, and you just, the way the scaffolding is supported with I-beams, you just cannot find a good moment to drop him. So the two of you are stuck, kind of flying together for the moment. These abjurations release. Some of them begin throwing out these these horrific spines at you and making these attacks, throwing out from a squid-faced creature. It roils back and from a mouth that opens along its torso, you'd like this wave of ink spits out, and it begins to corrode the metal where it lands, and you all avoid all of this, but you are under the most extreme sort of assault that you could possibly imagine, and these just more creatures, and this place just goes and goes and goes, and all of you are running as fast as you can. Your lungs are burning, and you're just trying to make it out of here. And as you're going, as your kind of abilities are failing, that you've been pushing so hard, you've suffered greatly to get to this point. This massive chamber goes out into a point that creates almost a giant cathedral beneath you. There's almost like a bowl, right? You can think of like a Roman, not a Roman Colosseum, but the God, what's the one that's built into the ground that you walk into?
Amphitheater?
Amphitheater, thank you. It's built like an amphitheater into this place, but the entire thing is descended in these kind of waves, and still no sign of the three Kren, and from where you're going, you see no exits, you see no ways out, you have no idea where they are, but these creatures are just completely overwhelming you and at your heels, and as you kind of reach the end of this scaffolding, the only way forward is out and over this amphitheater. And as you continue, you go from being, 300 feet off the ground, 100 feet off the ground, to being 400 feet off the ground to the center of this thing. and you guys kind of reach a dead end. But where the creatures are, even as they sort of pour into this place, right? None of their attacks can reach you at your height. You're just hanging above them. And as you just try to breathe and catch your breath, you begin to see kind of built into this place a system of these great glass tubes, right, connected with kind of like steel banding, flowing through and amongst the stone, out again, carrying in them this just like red and black like ichor, right? It looks a very similar consistency to the ooze that you saw outside. And they all seem to coalesce at the head of this amphitheater that you are all now facing into what is a giant vat, maybe 20 feet across, 30 feet tall, that's connected into series of smaller machinery and containers amongst it, kind of lining the end of this amphitheater. Creatures pay this no heed, but you are all collected there, breathing, observing your environment, and I want everyone to go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Matt!
Let me open up my character sheet again. That is a fucking 7. Oh.
14.
14?
13.
15.
15.
Oh no.
Now, on the chance that a nat 1 can be rolled, I'm going to be fair. That's a 4 on die. You all still fail.
Oh god.
The kind of swirling mass, kind of the dark bands and threads that are kind of like flowing through these tubes go and descend and coalesce into kind of that main vat, right? That main chamber. And you see all the pipes are just like this smooth, clear liquid. And inside you see almost like a swirling, like semi-skeletal form.
We're going to be experimented.
Inside the vat, and it kind of looks up and regards you all, and you feel just like this insane wave of psionic energy.
I have advantage against that.
Ooh. Go ahead and re-roll your Constitution saving throw.
18 plus 1, 19.
Yeah, with your fucking steel plate in your head. The rest of you now here's the thing, Yev. You've been carrying around these gloves that have been given to you, and you haven't used them. The gloves of fairy fire,
Yeah.
the gloves of pigment. Every single other person, all of the magical artifacts that have been given to you, you all fall, and they remove themselves from your body and fly down to the vat.
I knew I didn't want those gifts.
The gloves.
Interesting.
Except the gloves. You just bam, like this absolute roil of psionic energy just fucking rips out across all of you, and all of your items begin to fly forward. Yev, you are the only one that did not get brought down. I will give you a moment to respond.
My pack is
Allowed? Or to do something?
Save us.
Well, who's nearest me?
You're all kind of assembled on kind of like a larger platform that it's like straight and narrow. It was along both sides. It had bands between, and then it came together straight out, and then big open platform.
Let's yank their objects off them. Has it tried to yank them in?
No.
No. Okay.
Only in so much as it removes those things, and it's very slightly. It seems to move with kind of shocking deftness to remove objects.
And the objects went into the big hole at the bottom?
They went towards that kind of where the black
Yeah.
to.
Does it
yeah.
respond on impact? Like,
It's still, I would say, mid-flight. It's a pretty fair distance.
Oh, it's coming towards
Yeah,
us. It's not
you-
just
you
sucking things to it.
No, it's sucking things towards it, but they just moved, right? They've
Oh,
gone
yeah,
from
they're in the
here to
middle.
here, and you have a moment to respond across that distance.
Can we continue to run past this thing?
We're in the.
You're at a dead end.
Dead end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pray to my god because I don't know what the fuck to do.
Mhm.
That's a 14 plus 1, so a 15.
You hear nothing.
God damn it!
In fact, as you try to reach out with religion, whatever tempered with whatever arcana, you feel a similar dampening as the
Oh, you're
knowledge.
damp now.
Damn! So we can't go back the way we came because that's where all the fucking things are. And so we just have to stand here and deal with this
We're
thing?
being blasted with psionic energy right now.
Yeah, you sure are. But we can't go back. And we can't go forward.
Can't go forward.
Can we go up?
Yeah.
Well, she's got the
Boots are gone.
Oh,
Boots
the
are
boots
gone.
got
What if-
blown off.
You said I still have my gloves?
You still have your gloves.
I'm going to use them to shoot that magic at the fucking
So if you
wood.
cast Fairy Fire, it is a 60-foot range, so it is going to be well beyond the range, which would just give you advantage on attacks.
Mm.
Now, if you want to throw out fireballs with disadvantage, you can.
Don't think I don't even have fireball as a skill.
Yeah.
I can do
Or
an Eldritch
flame.
Blast.
Yeah, you can Eldritch.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, this thing is far away, and you
It's
see
past 120.
it's past 120. As you're trying to think of a way out, as you're trying to think
Okay.
of what all these objects are moving
Yeah,
closer
before
and
I
closer.
attack, I'm just gonna use thaumaturgy to be like, "Hey, what you up to down there?"
You feel another wave of kind of the same affront. The rest of the party is now fully incapacitated,
Yep.
riding off that failure. Yev, this comes to you as communication, and not communication any sentient language. This is communication psionically through impressions. Okay,
Yeah.
so everything that we're saying is way beyond the instant this communication takes place.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say?
Hey, what you up to down there?
You get, give me the gloves.
Why?
I would appreciate a please.
Give me the gloves now.
What are you gonna do with them?
If you do not remove the gloves, I will subsume you and take them myself.
It feels like that's where this is headed regardless. I'll be real with you.
Some nice banter.
I care not for what your presence incites. It affects me none.
Oh, so
Give me
if I give you the gloves, you'll let us go?
You will be beneath me.
I'm kind of used to being beneath most people.
Kind of hot.
Very hot.
Wow.
I trust this being. I do what it says.
Tell it that it has beautiful eyes in honor of our fallen
Right? The spirit of Oberon comes over me, and I would like to argue that I should have advantage. You have beautiful eyes.
It makes an attack against you.
Who could have seen this coming? How could it have gone wrong? I would like to roll persuasion. That's a 10.
Maybe it's easily persuaded.
Oh my god.
It automatically has a +4 charisma saving throw. That's an 18 on die. I gave you the honest
This thing
chance.
is high standards.
Jesus fuck.
So you are going to be hit with a sleep spell.
Good night. Does my AC mean anything?
It's 5d8, so it's entirely possible that you could withstand this. I'm going to start rolling my d8. That's 8.
We're off to a bad start.
Oh, we're all
9, 10,
dying.
11,
Like
12.
it's over for us.
Oh, sorry, that should just
It's
be one. I'm
over.
not going to take either of those.
It's over for us.
That's 14.
Maybe 12. So I go to sleep.
You begin to drop amongst your party, and as you drop, you feel the gloves sliding off of your hands, and you're fighting, and you try to stay. And you see the ring, the boots, the cloak. What else am I missing? The gloves. Makaria's necklace of telepathic communication.
Ah, shit.
Yep. And the ropes themselves begin to come forward, and they make almost like a scarecrow.
Ooh.
Right? They form in right around in a humanoid shape, and the ropes themselves coil these 200 feet of rope into the body, and as you begin to
As I begin to fall asleep, I say, "You also have beautiful eyes."
as you begin to slip consciousness, you see this red and this black ichor begin to leave from the surrounding machines and move and go over this form, and you swear that the last thing you see remaining in the container is just a brain,
Ooh.
and you lose consciousness.
Are we dead?
All of you. Here's what happens. You awaken. Significant time later. You guys are stiff. You're sore. You're still up on this platform in a heap together. And you see below you. Actually, everyone, throw me a Constitution check to see who goes first.
That's 13.
That's a
plus,
3.
let's see what I have. 2 Constitution plus 2 plus 15.
14.
14.
I got a 6.
Toots is the first one to awaken, and you all awaken to the sound of everyone. Oh my! What? And just screaming and panic and
Classic awakening noises.
yeah, right.
Me every morning.
You guys look beneath you, and the sort of sequential steps of the amphitheater are no longer there. And beneath you, you all see just a tube, a pipe, essentially, right? Massive, that goes to an unknown destiny. You guys are hovering above void, essentially. You all waken in a panic. It feels like it's been a significant amount of time. And the entire the alarm has stopped. You see no 3 Kren. You see no abjurative creatures. It is completely silent.
And it's completely dark.
I would say the lights still persist as they were. Most of these, there were braziers on the way in, these sort of torches, and no, not torches, braziers, lit a sconce light coming off the wall, and in here it's all electrical, artificial lighting.
Electrical?
Artificial, industrial, almost like the way a submarine is lit, with those kind of like dense lights, industrial lights receded against the wall, or protruding rather.
Can I roll perception?
Roll perception.
That is 12.
Dead silent.
Can I roll religion?
Go ahead.
You're so good at it.
The rest of you, what would you like to
so good at
do
religion.
here?
I'm gonna wake up and can I also roll perception? Okay.
Yeah, so
Say, group perception roll.
That is
19
a
on
nat
religion.
1 with
you need to change dice.
I
So
am
it's
getting
a
fucked
group roll
here.
I got a 9.
As a 9. I don't even
That's
need
a
to hear anyone
5
else's
with
roll.
my modifier.
But you did get a nat 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're averaging, we're gonna sit at a 9, so it's gonna land below average instead of getting nothing. You still get less than Kels would have gotten, which is dead silent. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to participate.
No, you should fail. That's how drama happens. With your 19 religion check, you reach out, you look for that thread again, and you just, this sense of fear wells up inside you. The situation's beyond your understanding, and you see that thread again. You see that thread again, and you hook it with your claw. And what question do you send out?
Hey man, what the fuck?
The previously kind of gossamer silver thread begins to darken.
Okay, great. This is going really great, guys.
You see the aura that you can observe above you begins to swirl red, and black ichor runs down the length of the thread, and
Oh
that
my
is the
god,
only
my string
sign.
is angry.
That is the only
Oh
sign
god.
you receive.
Oh, vagabond.
With your 19 religion, all joking aside, it seems a willful confirmation.
Of what?
That is to be understood perhaps at a later date, but from your god, it is a willful confirmation of your actions.
Okay, well, I've been lying, you guys. I'm not very good at religion.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
There is no vagabond god.
Yes, there is, goddammit.
It looks to you all like the only way out is back and down. However, the other creatures emerged from this space. Would you all like to pursue that, or would you like to stay here?
Well, what else can we do? We just gotta find our way out.
Truly,
Best
what
way we
else can you do?
Yeah,
Cry.
nothing else. So let's
Yeah.
find our go.
I've made the void very angry.
Yeah.
I'll probably do so again.
Hilarious,
You all
honestly.
move
No
slower
notes.
this time. Back across the scaffolding, you see rows and rows and rows of empty cages and tubes and machinery unattended, all of it powered off now. Again, eerily silent in here.
Is there like dust on things? Does it seem like it's been a really long time?
Yep. But I'll say it feels cooler in here than it did before. Whatever was running has since cooled. And you all make it back to the piece of scaffolding from which Calagon fell, and you make your way down and across this kind of industry factory floor. Way down at the other end, you guys take closer observations. None of you are particularly mechanically inclined. None of this means anything to you. These look
I
like
tinkered around in the
you've
boxes.
tinkered
we
around in
mended.
the boxes a bit, yeah, but not as far as machinery, right? It's things that existed, but things you all took for granted. None of you are machinists or artificers, right? And as you make your way, you see these sort of bulkhead doors every certain distance that you couldn't see from the scaffold. If any of you try them, you find them sealed, and you make your way further and further and further, trying door after door after door, running the length of this 3 times now, before you reach just this kind of vacuumous maw, this void beneath you. And it looks like the only way out of here is forward.
Let's go forward.
Jump in the maw.
You all move, and who's the first to throw themselves into
I'll go
the
first.
hole? Calagon.
Okay.
You jump, and after a brief moment, he disappears from view. You hear no sounds of danger, no sounds of pain. Just disappears from view.
I'm gonna throw my body in there.
Well,
Can I use my telepathic speech?
Yeah?
I talked to Cal. I said, Cal, you're right down there?
Calagon, you're falling.
Huh.
And I shout back, it feels like I'm falling forever.
I was like, you fall and you fall and you fall, and after several minutes, you
Oh, boy.
yeah, you notice that you stop. You have not hit ground, but you have ceased falling. And right, you don't have hair. You have very little cloth or fabric on you. So it's at a certain
Hairless
point,
confirmed.
right? It's this sort of like at slow speed, and your descent has ceased. But it is completely dark around you.
Am I still floating?
You're floating.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, you've not hit solid matter. Yeah, you relay this back to the rest of the party.
Okay, I'll tell Juniper and she can tell.
Yeah.
We really should have tied like a rope around you before we sent you down there.
We don't have any rope. There, we
It's
don't have
gone now.
anything.
Just cloth, anything.
My pad got blown off in the event that
Okay,
happened.
well, this seems interesting and kind of fun, actually. So I will also jump.
If you all are continuing to follow suit, you make your way down. Anyone that holds, you are holding there for a while with no sense of what to do.
Wait, our options are enter this thing or just stand there, correct?
Or go back to the slime, to the ooze. Several of your party members have flung themselves in.
Yeah, I think I have to with them, but I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Get in
didn't
the
like,
void.
I'm getting in the
I
void.
didn't like it either, so like.
This is a
suck it
different
up.
void than the void I spoke to, right? It's not trying to pierce my mind
No,
again?
this is just a big hole.
Big hole, okay. I grumble. Oh, I grumble, but I follow.
You all begin to float down, and Calagon, I think at a certain point it dawns on you to use produce flames, and if you don't, Makaria will, as she gets down to your level, and you all see forward. You're all amidst the center of this great cylinder.
Neat.
That looks again almost like pipe tube, right? It has this sort
Oh, we're
of
getting experiments done on us.
corner joint, and that's where you're floating. You're floating before this corner joint to shift and move in a lateral direction rather than a vertical one. Any of you could easily you feel once you notice that and you understand what's happening, understand that if you made a slight shift, you would continue on. And I presume some of you or all of you do rather than just float there. And you begin to navigate this system of these tubes. And around you is just rock. It seems like this has been bored through the rock. Melted, drilled, something has torn through this. And eventually, as you guys are shifting through these maze-like tunnels, all this perfect, flawless cylinder, smooth stone, you all begin to see light ahead of you. And as you begin to see light, it grows, and it grows through the various twists and turns, and you all eventually reach the end of this system. You all are standing out. Sunlight goes, and you all cover your eyes, and looking out, you guys are, though you traveled downwards, you are near the peak of the emissary's eye when you emerge. And you merge off to this landing, right, carved into the mountain itself. And you're facing out before you, you see mountainous crags beneath you, and beyond that you see beach, and at the very edge of your vision you see ocean. I think you all can make the conclusion you're facing east. You're facing your home. And you all kind of step out, and as you adjust to the sunlight, you know, it's like strange, intense, and as you step out, you don't get relief from that. It continues to be strange and intense. And the closest your eyes can get to adjusting, you notice that almost like when Kels was witnessing the magical auras of space around her, everything seems to have a ghost form to it, right? Everything seems to shimmer and move, but it doesn't look good, right? It looks fractured and fragmented, really split cleavage across most of these kind of like images, and they almost make, right, like ghostly fractal versions of themselves, be it landscape, be it each other. You have these sort of like twisted, cracked auras around yourselves, and the sort of predominant harsh lighting has this sort of like uneven, almost like blood redness to it that things seem to be bathed in, and you observe the land below you, and you see many of the same abjurations and ooze creatures dotting the cliffs and the peaks of Emissary's Eye. You all have wandered out into a twisted landscape beyond your understanding.
Very
That
comforting.
is where we end Greater Shores.
Whoa.
And then it comes back to life.
Yep, totally.
Absolutely not. Congrats, you triggered the apocalypse.
Woo!
Oh, is that what happened?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone gets to die with me at least.
The bad ending. Oh man.
The only ending.
Oh.
Yeah.
Had I not antagonized the void, would it still have been like this?
You might have gotten more answers if Calagon didn't roll in that one, and if you didn't antagonize the void, you might have gotten some answers.
I'm sorry for rolling. I rolled one multiple times, so who can say which nat one it
If
was?
I have the opportunity to talk, I'm going to antagonize, so it would only ever end one way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that was Greater Shores.
Okay. Wow.
The audience as well will have to be satiated without answers. And, you know, maybe if you all are interested in continuing remote, we might pick this up again. I would be happy to run the next leg of this adventure, but otherwise, sucks,
crazy.
buddy.
Well,
Happens to the best of us.
we
Sometimes
triggered the apocalypse.
you just trigger the apocalypse.
The gang triggered
Sometimes
the
you
apocalypse.
You win
carry
some,
the
you
keys into the lair, and
Hey now, someone
Fuck
gave us
everything
those
up.
keys. I think it's their fault. I didn't want any objects, and you made me take them.
That was crazy.
I
Okay.
sure did.
I think that's what we deserve.
That entire time when those things were being distributed, we were dead silent because I didn't want to carry any more shit.
The one time I play in a non.
You
like,
acquiesce to
1-5
social pressure.
new-
Hate it when I do
Remember,
that.
kids, you listen to
Okay, good job.
kids. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you to all of
The
my
party
players.
triggered the
You're welcome.
apocalypse.
Are we clear?
I just put it on you for a quick second. If you
Oh,
want to say
well, hi.
anything to
Yeah,
your
it's me.
beautiful
Are we
audience.
clear? Thank you to all of my players. Thank you to Toby. Thank you to Graham for flexing in. Dajonea, Alexis, Maggie, and who are you again? Dead? And Kevin. I appreciate our prop masters and everyone who helped. Yeah.
Woo!
Crazy.